And we're live. This is Julien from the Royal St.Lucian Seamoss Company, and you are tuned into another episode of Let's Talk About Seamoss, and it's Sunday evening. And yeah, I got a new camera, got a GoPro. Well, I've always had the GoPro, but took some time today to get it working and attached because I was sick of that old camera. Now I need to get some lights, and from there, it's gonna be really cool. Although on Instagram over here, you guys see me with the camera with my iPhone is pretty good. But I'm gonna wait a little bit for some people to come in the room, because one of the things I want to talk about tonight for sure, although I'm not going to get into it right away, is I want to talk about the relationships between foreign buyers and local sellers, like sellers from St. Lucia or Grenada or St. Vincent or any of those islands, and how mainly for the farmers or the sellers, and how they can build better relationships with the buyers and avoid situations where they're the problems happen. You know what I mean? And being the admin of the Seamoss Buyers Club, I run across a lot of situations where there are issues with the buyers and the sellers. And for the most part, a lot of it really comes down to an issue of communication. And that's something I really want to touch on is, how do you build, hold on a second, how do you build good relationships? How do you have, proper operating practices and stuff like that to make sure that the product is, the transaction gets completed, in a good, timely manner, and there's no hiccups or anything like that. Because it's not easy being a shipper, and especially when you start shipping to multiple people and you're doing different products and different amounts and stuff like that. You definitely need a system to keep track of everybody that you're dealing with. For us, we use Shopify, and without that, I would be a mess. Because I remember in the beginning, I was trying to use them with spreadsheets and Excel, and I was always losing track of orders. Right. And so a lot of times that's what happens. Like when these guys are waiting on a tracking number, it's usually because, they've either had some issues or delays in getting the product to ship, or, they have the information, but it's not organized correctly. Like, you guys got to realize, foreign buyers got to realize that these people that you're buying from, this isn't Amazon. You know what I mean? And you can't expect that same level of service. A lot of times, it's a small operation, and it's one or two people, if that, and they're working hard to kind of put that product out there and get it to you. They want to be reliable and honest, but you know what I mean? It's difficult. I know, you know what I mean? And yeah, you can usually say add more people and this and that, but then that adds to the cost. You know what I mean? And then it makes it more, more expensive. and then what? They make less sales, and how do they afford to pay their staff? You know what I mean? And so, you as a foreign buyer, you got to be mindful and understanding that sometimes these guys can't ship out every day. Sometimes they can't ship your package. Like they have to put 20 packages together because they got to pay a guy to go and deliver it to the post office. They can't just get in a car and like UP. Like I in Canada, we're convenient. We have UPS can come to our door and pick up the package. They don't have like. Well, I don't want to say that. I assume that in certain places they don't have that. Well, I know they do. I don't know. But my point is that you're dealing with a foreign country. You have to have some patience. You have to communicate with your people. You know what I mean? And when they don't get back to you right away, you just got to relax. You know what I mean? If you've done your due diligence, if you asked the right questions, if you've taken the time to realize that this person has done multiple shipments, then just like in some ways give it time. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, as a seller, you need to be honest with your stuff. You know what I mean? If you need to put 5 packages together to save money to ship it, and you can't ship, don't make it sound like you're going to ship it tomorrow if you're not. You know what I mean? That's sometimes the problem. They want to make these promises to keep these guys happy, but sometimes the best way to keep them happy is just to be honest with them and tell them it's going to take 8 days when the guy really wants it in 5. You know what I mean? And if you keep losing business because of it, then figure out a way to get it in 5. But until then, don't promise. You know what I mean? Someone said this to me. Don't give me a 6 for a 9. You know, or as my dad would affectionately say, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. So we'll go more into that because I actually want. I was talking to Ricky earlier, Ricky McBride from Gold Seamoss, and I hope he can come on the live and sort of add to sort of different ways that we can suggest people can market their product better, find more buyers, and properly communicate to the seller um, what's going on, and just to be, you know, to be honest and stuff. Yeah. So I'm not getting anybody on the Seamoss Buyers Club, which is weird. I usually have some people coming in these live. Get more people joining me on Instagram, which I'm gonna give a little shout out and a wave to everybody that I can. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can also join me on Clubhouse, and we can discuss different stuff. You can get on and talk without having to have the video make you uncomfortable. But a lot of times you just gotta pretend it's not there. You know? Really liking this camera. Thinking that I gotta get some more brighter light though. Definitely, guys. I should point out while I'm just waiting for some more people to join us is to subscribe to me on YouTube. Not only do we have these shows showing on YouTube and the repeats of these and the recordings, but we're also got a channel, although we haven't launched it fully yet, but got one called Seamoss Life. And so far, the idea is that with Seamoss Life, we're going to do basically like a show, YouTube show, where we're showing the life of Seamoss farming, buying Seamoss, exporting Seamoss, life in St. Lucia and stuff like that. I know I'm planning a trip down there soon. God willing, you know what I mean? I'm praying because all this fucking COVID madness. But once I'm there, definitely going to be taking a lot of footage and a lot of recordings, and we're going to get really up close and meet a lot of people, introduce you to a lot of different companies, farmers, and stuff like that. And so I'm excited to spend a few weeks down there and reunite to a lot of people because I made a lot of friends when I was there, and I miss a lot. I miss a lot of it. You know what I mean? Even lepra. My partner has a cousin, and they call him lepra, which is, I guess, Creole for leprechaun, because he's so lucky. He's always getting out of trouble, so they call him that. He's a funny guy. He's badass. So what's up, North Atlantic Sea Veg? I hope you're doing well. You know. Oh, some people have joined us here on the bar. So great. But I should also be mindful that a lot of people watch these shows afterwards because they go on for so long. Like it's hard to kind of sit there on the live, and you got to come back and even just even if you're watching a live, I even go back and rewatch episodes to kind of go back and see what I say and stuff like that. So that's good to have. So I wasn't sure how I should discuss this topic that I kind of put forth today. Normally, I don't really have topics to discuss. We usually just kind of ad-lib it. But it really came about because I had, and I guess maybe that's where I'll start the story. If someone is that actually? Let me go check. If anybody's on the Seamoss Buyers Club, you see me getting into this troll Adriano. That guy is so funny. I'll get to him later. Oh, I almost don't want to respond to him right now, but let's see what's going on with the live. Let's see if there's anybody. You know what? See if there's any comments there, because lately I've been having some issues with seeing the comments in the show, and so Lanny C Veg, yeah, and Tony, yeah, he is a mega troll. But you know what? Wait until I have some tomorrow morning. That's usually my trolling hour. I get up at 6 o'clock and I fuck around on my phone for a good hour or two. So I'll probably get into him and start trolling him, and because if he thinks he's a troll, I'm an even bigger troll. I haven't even gotten started yet, and I do it for fun. I it's jokes for me. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. To me, that guy's he must be an only child. The way he goes on. Hey, Ricky.
What's going on?
Yeah, you think he's an only child, eh?
I don't even know what to say about him.
Yeah.
Hey, some people are businessmen. He's a businessman. He's sending emails on Sunday.
Well, listen. He let that out. He said that, right? He's like, "Oh, you don't see the strategy I'm using," but you know what, bro? It is a good strategy in some places, and then some places it's not.
We call it spamming.
Yeah.
We call it spamming. That's really what it is. He's a troll. He's a spammer. So that's not. After a while, I just have to. I asked him certain questions, and it just shit didn't add up.
I read the comments. I was kind of laughing to myself. You know what I mean? But what he doesn't realize is I have friends. Like one of my best friends lives in Barbados, so I'm gonna give him a phone call tomorrow. And I'm gonna say, look up this company and tell me, like, if these guys are. Let me know what you know about them.
Bro,
So
I've already looked it up. I can't find the company nowhere.
this is what I'm saying. Like he'll go and look the address up. He can go to the place. Barbados is not a big place.
Exactly. Like I like me. I look it up. Like, okay, so if you're legit, cause
something's not right with him.
He sent us such a long emission statement on what he does. I'm like, okay, like
this is what I'm saying. Something's wrong with that, and that's like really, I don't know. It's
and they get mad because I told him that I probably would never buy it from you, and then he's like, oh, I want to try to sell it to you anyway. Okay, so why did you send that long ass thing and then say that you have 100 pounds and you get 40 pounds for free? Like that's you trying to sell to me.
Yeah, what kind of Seamoss do you get when you can offer those kind of prices? Anyways, let's move on with that. That guy is wasting energy.
I just wish he would come on live.
I know.
Like, I want to hear just how good of a business person he is. Like,
you heard me say it.
If he's that good, then hey, maybe I can pick up some pointers. Maybe he can show me how to troll like he trolls and stuff like that. Like, maybe that. No, that'll never be a part of how I do stuff.
But that's what I said to him, and I'm fully open to that. Like, look, we can have all fun and games and talk shit and smack and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all here to sell Seamoss, and like, you know what I mean? If you're a good businessman and you do stuff, then fucking share the information. Don't be a dick. Don't come on there and be like, hey, I'm this, I'm that, and blah blah blah. And then when you want to hang out and talk Seamoss, you're like, no, I don't got time for it. Sorry guys, I just came here to start shit, and I'm gonna leave.
Well, when somebody starts saying that, hey, I got a business degree and stuff like that, most of the time, I cut you off right there. I'm like, bro, what's that got anything to do with what's going on right now? Like, you can have a business degree and still suck.
Yes. Yes, I could show you a few.
I don't get it. Like, as soon as you start giving your credentials out, like, then I'm like, okay, you done got emotional.
That's what I was laughing in my head. I'm like, he's emotional. I'm like, bro, you're the one who's like.
When somebody can't really say that back, they just kind of go into, like, they try to reverse psychology the situation. I'm like, I think I had a conversation. Like, I have a sister, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what she likes to do is argue.
Yeah.
And so with this, I'm like, bro, this is like level C argument.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even argue with you. Like, you don't even, like, it's not even good arguments. Like, only thing is, like,
it's childish.
Like, it just, you don't have nothing to say. So, like, really what you thought what he thought he was going to do is just get on my post and I was just going to let him just
roll over you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And, me, I'm not with all that. Like,
no.
And I'm going to come to you as far as I'm going to come to you respectfully. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing? Then he lists all the stuff. I'm like, bro, so how am I supposed to trust you? Like, you're saying that you don't trust him. Well, I would take this stuff and I would evaluate and stuff like that. And then the way that he listed everything is like he was a major corporation. Like, he was doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I just want you to come on here, show me a couple things that you have. Mm-hmm. At least show me, okay, if you have that much stuff, show me a website.
Yeah. No, it's not it's not the first time that guy's come in here and kind of stirred the pot or whatever. I think that's what he likes to do. He just gets bored. I would do the same. He doesn't care. This is not his market. It's not like he's really selling to us. You know what I mean? So he just comes in, talks shit.
Everybody else, but he's a big seller. So
yeah, let him be.
I'm not even sure why he was even on.
But that's what I'm saying. That he's just there to cause shit, talk shit. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll get some business or not, but like, you know what I mean? He spreads his name. There's a reason. Let him do his thing. Like, if that's your marketing strategy, then fucking there you go, bro. Like, that's what I built that group for. So people.
I'm not even sure if it's working because I check them out. I check everything out on IG and everything. I'm like, bro, you only got like 108 followers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm expecting a little bit more from you when you're saying your business, especially that you would have some sort of social media, like something that we can, that's approval, because that's business for you right there. Like, okay, you have to have some type of.
Maybe he's on LinkedIn. I think I talked to him at one point or something like that about Seamoss, and maybe he didn't like my price.
Yeah.
I do that a lot, but whatever.
But he got a lot of Seamoss. He says he has a lot of Seamoss.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
I hope he's buying it from St.Lucian. You know what I mean? So I'm all the best. And so speaking.
Hopefully he's semi-watching right now, trying to sneak and listen to what we're saying. So hey, guys.
Fuck, he is watching. Come on, dude.
I don't even remember his name. Hey, bro.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to talk to tonight, we don't have to get into it now, but I just wanted to give you a heads up, is I want to talk about like the issues that buyers and sellers go through, like guys selling on the island, and then people like buying from another country, and you know their concerns and stuff like that. Because I had a girl message me because she had problems with a seller, and the seller was like, you know, the same typical issue. Oh, I sent the tracking. Oh, I don't have the tracking. You know what I mean? Oh, where's the stuff? They're all worried about they're getting, stiff. And then in the end, something happened with the package. It didn't get there. And so she refunded her money and stuff like that. She was happy to get that. But whatever kind of message to me is like, she feels like had she just been straight and honest with me, a lot of this tension and issues could have been avoided.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I see a lot of times when I'm listening to both sides of the story and I'm kind of in the middle, is I feel like a lot of times these guys make sort of promises, and when things aren't going right, they don't be honest about why things aren't going right.
Well, yeah, I'll let you get into that. Like, I won't even comment on that because my background is certain things that just kind of out.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go in total detail, like in that
stuff.
No,
I think that you actually have a lot of expertise because you really talk to the farmers and the sellers as far as what's going on. I feel, and I hope that there's sellers that are actually watching the live or will watch the live that will get an understanding on what's actually expected, and even with your selling points, what people are considering kind of fishy selling. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like
what are the flags to look for? Then?
Yeah, what are the flags to look for? Which like the honesty about the selling, and what you're going to get. Like, because I think that's a big situation as far as like even when you put certain things on as far as what you're going to get, the price that you're paying, what all is included in that price that you're paying. Like that's a big thing, because if you say that you got stuff for $10 a pound, like most of the time, but you don't say anything about shipping or anything of that nature, most of the time people are going to try to figure out that they're thinking that it's free shipping. Like, or there's some type of shipping, or the first thing that you should establish is, okay, so, and this is something that sellers would always have to ask, okay, where are you at? All right, so I've actually sent Seamoss over, and I can tell you that it's going to be about this price for shipping. This is what you're going to need to do to get your shipment. I don't think any of that is kind of explained. I think it's more of, let me go ahead and make the sale, and then while I'm making the sale, and once I got it boxed up and I'm about to send out, then I tell them at that time,
what all it's
going to be.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to pay this and you're going to have to pay that. I would just tell them that the Seamoss is $10 a pound. However, you have to pay shipping. And then once you guys start negotiating, then you can see exactly what the price is going to be as far as with the shipping. Okay, so all right, so where you at? You're in Atlanta. Let's go ahead and do an average shipping. And this is actually another thing that I would actually want to talk to about with the sellers is having somebody come up with a website for you, so you can actually so people can kind of see exactly how much the shipping is going to be based on where they're at. I think that's a big, strong point as far as, and this is the thing, like I am willing to help you with your website to get it up and running so you can actually operate in a better capacity. I think it will help a lot of sellers because I know a lot of them aren't really, some of them aren't really computer savvy.
No.
And I understand that. That's and that's nothing against them. They're farmers most of the time, and that's not what they do. So if you could have somebody set up a website for you to kind of break it down, and even if there's a situation where you send your invoice over, and then they can see how much the shipping is based on that invoice and things of that nature, man.
Yeah.
It's proper, and on our side is that we can't expect to get free shipping. Like that's just like you have to, if you're buying, okay, so if you're buying 200 pounds or more, like you can't expect free shipping because most of the time it's going to come through air cargo or it's going to come through American Airlines. So these are things that you're going to end up having to pay for. You're going to have to pay taxes on when it gets there. You're going to have to pay. There's a lot of things that you have to pay for, especially if you're doing American Airlines or what's the other one that we use?
Amerijet.
What's that?
Amerijet.
Yes. So with both of those, there's a price that you have to pay. And once you start realizing the price that you have to pay, and even a lot of times you don't even understand that you got to get a customs agent to clear your stuff. Like if you're doing 50 pounds, they'll pretty much send it through DHL. Am I correct?
I don't know. Sometimes, or I think they sometimes send it through the mail if it's under that. Yeah.
So, it's a little bit different when you're doing it that way because they're not looking at you as you're a business. They're looking at you as you're just a regular person. And you're just buying. So once you get over that 200-pound mark, like that's when it becomes, because a lot of sellers will tell you that once you get over the 200-pound mark, like you can't send it through the mail like that anymore. And so there's different prices that end up having to occur. And you probably don't want to send it through mail because they're going to pay an arm and a leg if they have to send 200 pounds through the mail at that time.
Gosh, yeah.
So these are the things I definitely, I actually look at it and just would love to have conversations. And even if the seller would come on so we can kind of get their side and how they even, how they operate, how their thought process is. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, no, it would be good. Maybe next time I'll do that. I'll plan to get one of these guys that is already. But a lot of them, they want to stay in the shadows. They don't want to really be out there on Front Street so everybody could see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know this, that they just like on the buyer side, they have a lot of expenses that they incur. And so to kind of charge a low price and expect it to be all included is kind of unrealistic. And there's the boxes, the liners for the boxes, the people that you have to pay to pack the boxes, because especially when you're doing over 200 pounds, it's like, that's a lot of boxes to pack. Like, I think we did a quote for, what was it? 3,600 kilos. And we had to calculate to do the cost, to give the price. We had to calculate how much boxes we were going to have to pay to make sure, because the margins were so thin, right? And yeah, and so it came to something like 175, 176 boxes. Like, that is a lot of boxes. And then you got to pay people to fucking pack those boxes.
Exactly. So that's where the expenses come in. Somebody said, how long does it normally take to get tracking? Ordered 100 pounds last Tuesday.
To who? Me or them? Or you?
I'm not sure. It can't be for me. I send out every day.
I know. I must have had tracking. I've sent out hundreds of pounds this week. Like, that's a lot of boxes. So many expenses that, yeah.
Oh, to St. Lucian. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to see exactly when it actually is going to be shipped out. A lot of times it's going to either come, was it air cargo or it's going to come American Airlines. Typically, it probably will come air cargo if you have to send it 100 pounds. Now, they normally ship out, was it Monday or Tuesdays? That you normally see that air cargo will ship out.
Yeah.
First thing I would ask.
No. He ordered from me directly. And so I was going to say to him, DM me your order number and I'll respond back to you. And I'll do it right now, but I'll respond back to you in private where your order is and the tracking number. You probably got it and it just, or you didn't include your email on the order. So sometimes people do that and then they don't get the tracking information. But I got my computer here and I'll give you the tracking info right now. Sorry about that, Ricky. You know what I mean? You got to take care of business.
I look like St. Lucian. I'm like, oh, you said it all the way to St. Lucian. Okay, well, this is how it used to go. So, no, it's good. I'm also reading some of it. Yeah, like people don't understand about the boxes, and then there's actually an extra fee that you have to pay when you have to put it like it's an extra fee that we don't see that you guys end up having to pay over in St. Lucia. Yep. Send it over.
Dude, so we have to pay this phytosanitary certificate.
That's what it is.
And then that's to inspect the Seamoss. And then we have to pay this thing called the HACS fee. And the HACS fee is basically a fee for them to take it from the cargo bay to the airplane.
Exactly.
I thought that was included in the price of the shipping. Like, you know what I mean? And then you got to pay a fee. Yeah.
Told me about that. And they were like, oh, I got to pay it. And I end up having to pay the HACS fee for it. But they were like, I don't have money for that. I'm like, okay. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that have to be paid.
They have to pay a fee just for the paper, the airway bill. There's like an $80 fee or some crazy fee for just the paperwork to fill out the form for the shipping.
Yeah.
So
people and make sure that they have, like that. There's a lot of hidden fees that people don't understand. And it's actually, this is the thing, it's not just it's on both people's sides. It's on the buyer side and it's on the seller side. So sellers have fees that we don't even know about. And that's really a major thing. Yeah, there's actually a bunch of fees that you have to look at. And, you know, I just think the biggest thing is transparency. Knowing that, like, if it actually is $10, it really is, like, it's really like 12 or 13. Like, I really would tell them if you want $10 for it, then you might want to say it's gonna be 12. Anybody that's not getting over 200 pounds shouldn't even be going and getting it from the supplier like that anyway. I think they should actually get it in the States. Get it from the supplier, you're gonna be paying, like, especially if you're trying to get it for a cheap price, you're gonna be paying, like, both parties are gonna be paying. But like, I know suppliers are actually looking for somebody to buy 500 to 1,000 pounds. You know, that's where that's their bread and butter. Like, if you're a supplier, you want somebody to say, hey, I need 500 to 1,000 pounds. You get excited, then 200 is like, oh man. And then you want the 200 for the same price that somebody getting 500 to 1,000 for.
How much is 200 pounds? For you, Yusuf, $2 million with a smile. Call me offline or Ricky, and we'll give you a good price for you know what I mean, for 200 pounds. I'm not gonna you know what I mean? But I'll tell you what's on what the price is on my website. I think it's 2,400 US for 200 pounds. Or no, sorry, I lied, for 100 pounds.
Yeah, I think mine is like around 21.
Yeah.
Now deals. I just looked at a deal. Like somebody took advantage of a deal. I was like, ooh, that was nice. I just, you know how you get somebody that's really smart, and so they did certain things to get the best deal.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Oh man, I said that is genius. I actually had to commend them. I was like, you know what? You're the smart one who took advantage of the deal.
Yeah.
Because she bought a ton of gold. Like she bought a big amount of gold, and then she bought some powder, which is the cheapest thing that I have on the wholesale, and she also bought I think it was in some multi because I have that cheap. So she ended up getting an extra 15% off of her gold because she bought the other two. And so I was like, oh, that's genius. That is genius. Yeah. I was like, so she bought a ton of gold. And I was like, oh, I was like, way to go.
Exactly, smart move. And then balances it out.
No, because, you know, it's already cheap. And then when you actually, like, you just spend an extra $100 to get off probably another $250 off your order. Like, I was like, that's genius. That's what it's there for. Like that's what it's there for real. So it was wonderful. But yeah, getting back to I definitely want to really I'll let you focus on talking about from the sellers and the buyers' point of view. I think that's a definitely major conversation that we need to have.
Yeah, for sure. I actually had it once, a meeting recently with a group of farmers from St. Vincent and an NGO company that facilitates it, and we basically had a discussion on like what farmers need to know to kind of deal with foreign buyers and stuff like that. And so I'm probably going to draw on a lot of that sort of like what I remember discussing with them because I thought it was a lot of good information. And the main thing, right, number one, is you got to sort of verify trust. You know, these guys can't be hanging in the shadows, DMing guys, this, and that. You know what I mean? When you're doing this and you can't establish yourself as like, okay, this is my website, this is my Instagram, this is my Facebook page, this is my group. You're like, it's a business. You're running a business, so treat it like that. And so if you want people to take you seriously and not lowball you or, you know what I mean, sort of stiff you, because there's a lot of farmers that get stiffed, right? And so I understand why a lot of them don't trust to do, or they do things sneakily because they don't trust the buyer, you know, in a lot of situations. You know, buyers are liars. That's what we say in real estate. Because they usually, you know, you ask them a question, they're very evasive of the information that they give, right? And so, yeah, you need to establish the trust. I think you need to establish a set of prices, know what your prices are, run through certain shipments so you know sort of like estimated costs and what these fees are going to. Take the time to call the airline and whoever and know what's on the other end and be upfront about it. These are the costs. This is what you're going to have to pay in addition to the Seamoss and everything, and just stand by it. Like some people are going to balk at the price and this and that, but at the end of the day, if you've got good Seamoss and you know you have quality, you know what I mean, you will get the guy. You know what I mean? For example, I just made a sale recently where I sold 200 pounds, right? The price I sold, I don't know if I should be disclosing this, but like whatever. And here's the difference too. I'm going to add this. So the price that this person paid for was like nearly twice the price that this one guy is trying to offer me. And he's like kind of like acting like he's like kind of like doing me this favor. You know what I mean? Like, oh, take it. I got the money right now. $10. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Like you're hurting for the sale.
Exactly. Now I could go and sell it to this guy and make that quick $10. Yes. You know what I mean? Good. But when the other dude comes in and he is willing to pay the price that it really costs and what it's really worth, you don't have the stuff for him and you miss out. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that people charge millions of dollars, but make sure you charge a price that is affordable. Because what I see happening now is that most of these sellers are getting pushed into a position where the price point is lower than the cost that it takes to provide it.
Just because, and that's another thing, is because like they're going to one person and one person saying, hey, I can get it to you for this amount, and then you're going back like, hey, well, I can get it to you for this amount, then you feel like you're almost obligated to drop down, and I'm guessing that's from a seller's point of view, because they're sitting on a lot of major quantity of Seamoss, and so and I would always tell them that some things you gotta stick to your guns and say, I'm not gonna bite that bullet. I got good Seamoss, and this is my price, and I'm sticking with it. I think that doesn't happen a lot of times. I think a lot of times, and I understand it. I understand that these people gotta make money, but in the long run, they're not really making money when they're doing it, and that's what kind of hurts the situation, is because now you have a situation now where you done lowered the whole entire, lowered the industry price, because everybody think that you can get it for this, and you're drowning. Everybody knows you're drowning, and they're just kind of waiting for you to drown.
Yeah.
So you can get out the way. Like, I've had these conversations, and it's bad to say, it's like, I'm like, if you're going to do it for this price, you better have a structure that's so set up that, you can scale it.
Yeah. You can absorb that cost and stuff.
Yeah. You can scale it, and it's just, but a lot of times it's not that, it's just, they're not really understanding, because they may have just started out that, all these extra fees that are in place. And then once they start getting into it, it's like, oh, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for this. And then they're doing bad business after that, because they're trying to make up for certain things.
And additionally, I think what happens sometimes, I don't know for sure, because I don't know, I don't talk to them, right? But from my observation, I feel like a lot of them feel that, like, okay, this guy comes and gets 1,000 pounds, I'm going to see him next month for another 1,000 pounds. No, you're not going to see that guy for like 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Or a year. And so when you drop your pants for so low, and it's not the volume, you're sitting on a lot of Seamoss thinking you're going to move this every month. It doesn't.
Right. Like a lot of them feel like they get, and I'm just telling you from experience. A lot of them feel like you buy a certain amount, and then it's like you got an endless supply of money that you're just willing to spend.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's not so. Like a lot of it's like, okay, I got this amount of money, and I may buy a little bit more from you. So and I'm guilty of trying to help people out as far as their business and get their business growing. And so I might overspend. And then I'm like, okay, so I have to make this back. Crystal probably gets on to me about it, but I kind of overspend, and I'm like, okay, so we'll get it back sooner or later, as long as it helps you out. And that's how I look at it a lot of times when I'm dealing with people, is a trust factor that, we're going to be partners in this business for a while, and, I'll extend out. And so sometimes it doesn't seem to come back. Like there's a misconception that I'm buying 2,000 pounds, 3,000 pounds every month, and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's based on the energy. Really, be honest with you, like sometimes I can't focus on selling because I gotta focus on other stuff.
Yeah, and you're not in the right mind frame you can't market, you can't push the product, you can't, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And all that comes down to it. Like, you most of the time when somebody's in a good space because they're visible and they're happy about what's going on at the time. And so I'm just talking from experience. I've been through it all, So like I've been through months where I'm like, I can't sell shit this month. Like I just gotta deal with this. Let me get this out the way, and things like that happen. And then you try to work yourself back into the fold, and sometimes it takes you a long time to get back into the fold of being able to market and advertise every day and things like that. Because what I think a lot of times with the sellers is
in the show.
There's so much Seamoss that's being bought and not advertised every day and things like that. That's what
Sorry.
Yeah, there's really, like, when you start breaking down the numbers, that you kind of break down the numbers a lot. Because you actually go to these pages where you can see what's going on. Like, you break down the numbers, there's not a lot of people buying Seamoss. We're still pushing the industry, and what it is that we have to, our biggest job is converting people that have never taken Seamoss. Like, and that's a hard situation to do. Like, a lot of times it's mostly word of mouth right now. And you might get some advertisement, but the advertising is really word of mouth and knowing that you have a brand that people actually trust. And we're dealing in an industry that's primarily black right now. And the trust factor is big. Like, it's bad to say it, but we don't trust each other a lot. Like, there's a lot of scamming going on. And so I understand that in my frame. So they gotta see you, they gotta know that you're a real business for them to put a lot of trust as far as, okay, I'm gonna buy from this person because this is something new I don't know about Seamoss. How am I supposed to trust? That you're gonna give me the product and a lot of false information that goes on when it comes to Seamoss, and so you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. So there's a lot of trust factors that go into even somebody making one sale with you. Now you hopefully that you get that one sale. Once you get that one sale, you have a product that they love, and so now they're hooked on Seamoss, and now it's something that they put into their daily regimen. But just think about the people that actually had a bad experience on the first time that they bought Seamoss. Like, you gotta redo them. Like, they may be like, okay, I see what the benefits are, but man, I had a bad experience. I'd rather just not deal with it. And we don't really do it. And this is another thing. We don't really deal with anything until we have to. Like, if people are sick, like, they'll try it if they have to try it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really looking at Seamoss as, let me go ahead and get I'm healthy. No, you're gonna wait till you're sick, and then somebody says, man, you should try that Seamoss. And I'll try anything. And then you're that time. And that's really, and so guess what? COVID's not around anymore. Not like that. Like, a lot of people that really got into Seamoss and really started seeing profits was when COVID was around.
Sure.
And really started getting active with Seamoss at COVID time, and a lot of times it was mostly gel. So that's another thing that we have to get mindful of. Like, there was a point in time, it's probably last year around this time, where Seamoss just dropped off. Like a few months, because guess what? Everybody got back outside.
Yeah, they weren't thinking about their
as soon as the bands did it and you go back outside, guess what? Everybody's stuff just
Right. Don't worry, I trust no one. Buy from everybody. What?
I trust no one but buy from everybody eventually. Yeah, so like that's the biggest thing. Like, like we
Sorry.
Get it out. Yeah, we buy there's not a lot of people buying Seamoss just to try it out. I think now they're kind of looking at it like it's something that they can actually get into because it's still around.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought it was gonna be gone. They thought it was like, oh, this is just this don't really work. But now there's more and more people are slowly starting to gravitate towards it. Yeah, so it's slowly starting to pick its way back up. It's bad to say, hopefully another variant don't come around.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does, guess what? Everybody's gonna be ready for that variant to come back around, so they can get their money back up.
Yeah. They'll start taking the Seamoss. Bold City said, "Can the sellers advertise the price as plus and shipping fees? Because it was shocking the first time for me once I got the actual price with delivery. USPS is rough. DHL is worse." That is true. Everybody should add that shipping fee.
Yeah, so what I would say with that is that a lot of times, and this is another thing I always say to sellers as well, it may be good to actually find somebody in the States that can actually outsource it to. So, if they're only if they only want to buy 100 pounds, or if they only want to buy 50 pounds, then you say, hey, well, I have somebody in the States that can get it to you, and this is what the price is going to be. And then you guys work out a negotiation on how the business is going to go. That's actually a suggestion that I see. I've actually tried to extend myself and hey, we can work out something. If you get it here, because the whole objective is to, get it to as many people as fast as possible. You're a seller and you say, hey, I'm sitting on 2,000 pounds, and we have a good relationship, and just you get the buyer that you're actually dealing with, and that's why I always say, one-on-one with a certain buyer, you get a buyer that you're actually in a good relationship with. You say, hey, I'm gonna send you this 2,000 pounds for a certain price. I may actually have a few of my people that I'm going to send to you. And then once you start sending them, then you start to gain a relationship where you can get it out to them quicker. And then one thing you have to do after that is pretty much free up. Okay, well, I'm getting the money. Okay, here you go. I'm sending the money to you. All right, let's go ahead and get some more.
Yes, Yusuf. We add the shipping price at the checkout. But if you order over $100 worth US, we do free shipping.
Yeah, mine is $50. I'll do free shipping for you. So yeah, that's that's the difference between going to a seller that's overseas and going and coming to somebody in the States that's going to give you a good price. And this is another thing as well, is that the price as far as what you're getting, if you order 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 25 pounds, 100 pounds, most of the time with major shippers that are in the United States, it's almost the same price. You're not really paying off as far as a few dollars here and there. I know most of the ones that kind of run in our circle, I would just say, in our circle, pretty much the prices are the same. It's just a lot. I was like, okay, where you at? And, sometimes you might be closer to somebody. You might be closer to somebody that's say you're in Philly. I might refer you to somebody. Hey, well, I got somebody that's right next to you. They can get it to you in no time flat. Or you may be in New York, you may be in DC, you may be in Florida. And there's, and once you start getting this network to where everybody kind of comes from, yeah, I got somebody that wants 100 pounds, boom, boom. It may be a situation where y'all split the cost. Okay, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and sell it to them, and I'll give you a couple dollars off of it, and work out that negotiation.
Yeah, oh look, these guys are here. I left the the clubhouse for a second, and then there's people. Sean's here, and I can't believe I forgot your name, Maria.
What's up?
Not much, not much. I hope you guys are good. So, you have anything to say about um, your thoughts on dealing with farmers or dealing with, like, do you buy direct or do you buy from someone that's already brought it into the country?
I buy direct.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I'm smooth as some of my people. But go to sleep and got like a gang of orders. Right. Orders come like crazy. That's a good question. What was your question? Because I came in late.
So the topic mainly is that we're discussing like farmers, how they can better sell to foreign companies like us, like how to like better practices, like you know what I mean, like one of the things we're saying is being upfront with the costs and knowing what those costs are actually going to be, you know, and another one I think we talked is like making sure you have kind of like a sliding scale. Like you shouldn't be selling 20 pounds for the same price as a 200 pounds, right? Because there's no incentive to buy more Seamoss. I'll just buy a little bit, and then you're paying shipping and all these other fees for a small amount. It just, you know, doesn't make sense, you know. And then just about pricing, standing by, that kind of stuff, standing by your product.
What I've been seeing, the people I've been buying from, I came in with I said, that's it. The price was good, but here recently now, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
But one thing that has changed, they're doing a lot of distributing people that's already in the States. So I think that's good. You know, the prices are going up to some extent because I know you guys take some nice speed over here in the process. It's very demanding. And like you say, you know, those extra quality, it's not that bad, especially when they got to do business. Everything's up and running, right? But I like it. I think that's probably going to be the best thing for the farmers to do it. Like, get someone like me. You know, I'm always open to. I got like I don't have a warehouse or anything like that, but I'm always like I probably hold about 1,000 pounds somewhere.
But you could grow to that. Like today, you don't have a warehouse. I didn't have a warehouse when I first started. You can grow that. But the point is, like even Ricky was saying, is you're a good person to develop a relationship with. You're selling. You've been in the business for a while. You're established. You're not some just guy. You know what I mean? How do you say it? Some fly by night where you can't really look them up. You know, and you know, if they were dealing with you, well, yeah, like I don't know. At the same time, I'm always kind of like get the cash first. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
They was actually trying to do something like say my body like 900 pounds, they probably give like another 500. Just build a relationship out there, but things have failed through with a couple of people they tried that with, so they kind of slowed up on their process like that, which is understandable. Yeah, I'm just looking right now. I'm looking for next week. Soon. I hope that somewhere in that range, like 500 pounds, like that. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go for the farmers. Especially that time away to get direct from the farmers, it's almost like a process, almost like a week and a half to get it over here. Week and a half to get get the United States to get where I'm at. So, by them shipping and having a person that's already here, that's distributed, it'll work out very fast. Especially if you know someone like me, I kind of like to make sure all my products are almost gone before I get you're ready to purchase something else. But one of those guys that guaranteed you already have to subscribe to the website that constantly coming in, you can always go ahead and pre-order your 500 to 1,000 pounds ahead of time. That's one thing at time.
No. Yeah. No, I think they do need to start looking at those ways because even by working with someone in the States, because another problem that I see is the issue of like payments and accepting money and stuff like that. And a lot of times they want Western Union and people don't trust Western Union and stuff like that. And so having someone in America kind of be the go between, you know what I mean? You can basically have them accept the payments and stuff.
Who's going to pay for them Western Union fees? That's another question. Like, you're sending Western Union. Nobody wants to pay for them Western Union fees.
Well, see, it's hard to do, but I would say that the best way for the buyers, like the trick that I do, is I send the money in their currency. So I work out the price in their currency rather than the U.S. and ours, because when you send the Western Union, and you put it in their currency, they give you the total based on with the fee included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little trick of the trade.
Yeah, I like to send it direct to the account. Like, that's actually.
Yeah, like Bolsey said, use bank draft. It's much cheaper. Another optional, I don't know about the charge, is there's a company down there, a friend's an investor there. It's called Penny Pinch.
You know what? I heard of that company, and I actually was going to use that with somebody, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think I actually showed them how to do a direct draft, and they were like, "Oh, this works out even better." Like, I get it like that. I'm like, see, yeah. So yeah, but I definitely heard Penny Pinch. I think a lot of people do use Penny Pinch down there.
No, it's a good place. Like my partner won a TV on it. So. I was shocked that he did, but it was I think because he ordered so much KFC. But anyways, I shouldn't. So yeah, Penny Pinch is cool, and now with Penny Pinch you can actually pay from your debit card and your credit card. Yeah, so you can use a Visa or Mastercard. And the farmers can get when they use the Penny Pinch, I think they can apply for a Mastercard, so they can use their credit card anywhere, like credit cards accepted or online, stuff like that.
So my next question: can they do Shopify down there? Like, can they get a Shopify website down there and have?
I don't know. I think if they do, they have to have an American account.
Okay, because I know that anytime, like I know I try to set up a situation where I was direct drafting from my Shopify account to somebody and it just wouldn't go through. I was like, you know what, I can't do this. But I'm thinking, what about Stripe? Because I know if you actually do, like I have a couple that are, I forget what it is, but the opposite of Shopify, like a different type of website. They allow you to set up a website down there. Web hosting. What's the web hosting like? I do SiteGround as far as some web stuff that I do. And just so that they have a small website that you can go to and they can actually accept their money that way. So you can pay online. Because, I tried to do PayPal with somebody one time and then they said that the fees were way too ridiculous for them. It's like, I was like, do PayPal because, PayPal, a lot of people actually trust PayPal because if something doesn't happen, you're somewhat protected.
I don't think you can add a bank account to the PayPal there, like a St.Lucian bank account. But then there's a few banks down there, and different ones work. Because I had I went to a college for an open bank and I think opened one at the Republic Bank. That one I was able to do instant wire transfer to, and because they're actually based in Barbados, and so what?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so you run it like as if it's going to Barbados, but you put the St. Lucian account information, and it moves it back.
They actually had another one, but it went through like 3 or 4 different. Like I think my money got stuck like 3 or 4 times. It went to like 3 or 4 different banks before it actually hit there. And sometimes it would bounce back. Like it had to go through Miami, then it had to go. Like it was
Wow.
one of those. I was like, I can't deal with this shit. Like it was bouncing back, and I was like, okay, this is way too much. I can't remember what bank. I had to go through my wires. I'm like, okay, nah, we can't do this, bank.
Yeah, because it's going all over, and then they ding you with a lot of fees when that shit happens, right?
But coming back like to scam me, it really feeling like my bank was kind of not trusting it after a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can look to see if Stripe does support the country. It doesn't say specifically. I think it supports the currency. It might not support the specific country. And I mean, I don't understand why. Like, St. Lucia is a very advanced country. They need to get they need to update their money system.
We might have to look up what web hosting can you do in St. Lucia for business.
Yeah, to figure it out how they do the payment. And that was something I wanted to talk to my buddy. Is like, okay, so can Penny Pinch create an app or a plugin to add into these services that will allow them to be a payment processor? You know what I mean? And actually, I'm going to call him tomorrow. And I'm going to bring that up to him and say, look, why don't you do this and not only do it for say WordPress? It's where I think they should start.
That's what I can't remember. WordPress.
Yeah.
Website.
Yeah. A WordPress with WooCommerce is what it's called. That is like the best way to make a free, cheap site. Although I wouldn't recommend it only because I don't know what it is like. I should go backwards because I haven't used WooCommerce in like 5 years. So all I know is it could be a lot better and simpler. From my experience with using WooCommerce it was a lot of setup. You know what I mean? You had to add in your own taxes. You had to add in all these shipping stuff. Cost for this, cost for that. Shopify, it's like you put the products, put the weight in. You know what I mean? That's it. So some pictures, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're located, it calculates the shipping.
For people that know what they're doing as far as setting up websites, and really, I don't I use WordPress for blog websites and stuff like that. And when you got into as soon as I started getting into I want to take payments and stuff like that, it just got too much. You know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to Shopify.
You know what just jumped in my head? Do you have a category in there for distributors? Well, actually, you must in your Seamoss buyers directory.
No. I'm to be honest with you, I don't even know. I haven't even looked. I think I do, but it's something that. Okay, so we still have to have you go through and just check everything out because it's almost like it's a WooCommerce website. So we have a whole bunch of plugins and everything. So it is international. I can make it international. I just, I haven't dealt with it in so long that I would really have to look through it again. Or I just have you look through it.
Yeah, I'll look through and we'll see it.
You can break everything down. Okay, this is what we need to bring.
Yeah, that was just a thought. But at the same time, I feel like there maybe needs to be certain criteria because you wouldn't want to just have anybody that can sell on the directory because
be able to use, and this is another site that I was thinking about, Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's a good, yeah.
But I'm thinking, because I see all type of, like, it feels like there's a lot of foreign sellers that are on Etsy.
No, I think you could do Etsy and you can get the payment like that. You know what? Only Google knows.
Exactly.
Etsy or. But you know what? That's something that, yeah, I think so. Unless these are just St.Lucian products. Because it just said a St. Lucia market. It has a market for St. Lucia.
I'm not sure if it's just St. Yeah, I think that would be my first thing I would probably look at, because I'm just thinking about when I actually do a lot of research. Most search I see as far as with natural products, everything, you'll Etsy always comes up. Like, I don't even see Amazon like that anymore. I see Etsy more. I see Amazon almost.
No, Etsy's they're getting good rankings. They're always like on that top bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's the bar I look at.
I'm just looking at see. Well, there's a lot of products and like trinkets, but you can't tell. You know what? Actually, I think you can search. That's right. To see what country they're in. How do you search? We'll stay here for another second. But there's probably is like a way to search the country to see like only suppliers in that area.
That's another. I want to ask people that actually like in Tanzania and over in Africa. Like, I don't know what their shipping prices are. Like, I would love to know how much it costs to ship from Tanzania and Africa, all these different places over in Africa, how much it costs for the shipping. Because last time I tried to get something imported in from Africa, shipping was almost more than the item itself. I was like, what? I think I was trying to get some African black soap, and the shipping was ridiculous. I was like, are you kidding me? The person's like, yeah, that's why I'm telling you it's so cheap, because I know the shipping price is going to be. I said, but still, I'm paying almost regular price for the soap now. And I even had my, I'm like, okay, so I got to get my customs people for this, because, that's the first thing I'm going to ask you. Like, does it have to come through to where I have to go pick it up someplace and get customs and everything else to deal with it? Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was African black stuff that I was trying to get in. It was expensive.
Yeah, and then I'm just thinking like there's the customs, the shipping, like everything, even the exchange.
You got to get a ton of stuff. Like, cause right now that's what I'm actually doing with one of my people that I keep looking with that's actually from Peru. But they're importing a lot of stuff in from Peru. And I'm all for like one thing I know now, just by dealing with Seamoss, is that first thing I'm gonna start adding up is how much it's gonna cost to get to me. If you get a container in or anything of that nature, how much am I gonna be paying? My customer person, I know they're like, you got 101 questions. Like, okay, so if I have to do this, okay, so what's the best route? How much should I end up getting to where it makes sense? There's certain things I have to ask, like, even with sour sop. Like, that's my next thing I want to actually import in. And I've been kind of going back and forth with my customer person, because there's a lot of things that you have to do to get sour sop. And then, the person that I'm looking at, like, then and tell me I got like 400, 500 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot. And you got
hours that like
you got like 2 days to get rid of that all.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's where it turns it into, okay, well, I gotta have a whole bunch of buyers that are set up. Comes in on Tuesday, we get it on Wednesday. So Thursday, Saturday is pretty much all selling just to get it gone.
Yeah. You try to be almost all sold before you play.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's what I've been wrestling with. I thought it was gonna be another week. And then not to mention, even when you get it, you're gonna have to store it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to store it for days. And that means you're gonna have to get a walk-in cooler.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Yep. It's gonna add up.
But really what it's looking like is that I'm be paying more for shipping and everything else like that compared to what I'm getting what I'm getting the soursop for. And now I understand why soursop is so expensive. It's like you get it in the States for $15, $20 a pound. And if you get 1 pound, it's gonna be like $20, $25. If you get like multiple pounds, you may pay $20. If you get like 10 pounds, you may pay $15, $17 a pound. Now I'm starting to understand why, because when it's all said and done, you're paying an arm and leg just to get it in.
Yeah.
In a timely fashion to where you actually have time to resell it. Oh man.
It's probably at least $5 a pound in shipping cost. And packaging too.
It may be like, okay, so so you got to deal with customs, but then, so what happens where the price comes in is that, first of all, you end up having to pay for the shipment over, so that means there's going to have to come American Airlines. And then coming American Airlines, I'm looking at, I'm in Atlanta because it actually has to get inspected by a plant people, like a plant association. You have to get a bonded driver to take it from that airport to where they have to inspect it. So that's another additional cost that you end up looking at. And once you do that, because it has to be, really you have to have a bonded person, and they got to have a cooler truck. So, now you're starting to look at somebody that has a specialty. And when you look at somebody that does specialty work like that, then specialty work like that. Okay, so then after you just get done with that, then you probably rather have that same person drop it off to you instead of going to get somebody else to, I probably wouldn't even want to pick it up. I'm just like, okay, well, just drop it off to me. And then, so you got to pay for it to get dropped off to you. So now you're looking at, not to mention, you got to deal with customs. So, man. And then there's a lot of additional paperwork. So, you end up having to pay for that additional paperwork with your customs people.
Yeah.
That's really what I've been kind of going through the numbers all along. Like, okay, is this going to even be worth it?
How much am I going to lose? $5
to $7 just to get in here and just to get it to your doorstep and just think, hopefully none of it spoils.
Yeah.
That's the major thing. Hopefully none of it spoils. And then hopefully you can get rid of it in a certain amount of time.
It's like $40,000. You know what I mean? If you think about it.
What was that?
Like, well, how much does So if it costs say $10 a pound to bring it in, buy it, bring it in, everything. Say just about $10 a pound. That's $40,000, 400 pounds.
It's only 4,000.
My math is, I'm tired.
I wouldn't be looking at it.
I'm all in thousands and stuff. I forgot. So 400. Yeah, 400 times 10 is 10. You're right.
So this is where it actually gets to this is the tricky part.
Yeah.
400 pounds really is what ends up happening, you end up paying a lot more, and like, and you know this is by buying Seamoss, you end up paying a lot more as far as the shipping and everything else because, you know, it's only 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still, like that, to get it over here is still going to be a certain amount of money just to get it over here. Like, it's still going to be almost $400, maybe $450 to $600 just for the American airline ticket alone.
Well, that's why we ship like minimum 3,000 pounds when we ship, or 2,000 pounds.
Look at how much you end up having to pay your customs broker. And it don't matter if you're spending, it don't matter if you're getting 400 or you're getting 3,000, you're still paying a certain price for your customs broker, and it's not based on the amount that you're bringing in, it's based on paperwork that they have to do. So it's almost like, okay, so I really would rather get 1,000 pounds, but I had to clear that 1,000 pounds, and I had to be able to get rid of it in a certain period of time, and I'm not shipping it out once I get it here. This is all going to be Atlanta based because I don't want to go through something where, you know, I'm shipping it out and everything, something goes wrong. I'm just being truthful.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with those problems. Like, you know, so.
You almost have to find a spot, and when you receive it, you just like be like, okay, I'm getting it this date. This is the day you pick it up. You know, is a drop-off point. Drop some skids off and go.
Like, it's a situation where I feel like later on down, like, okay, so it may be touch and go for like the first couple
shipments
until when people are like, oh no, he really got sour sauce. And then after that, you probably will have a good situation where people are actually going to be pre-ordering, and it's a little bit easier for you. So you can kind of.
Well, if all else fails, if it starts going bad, you just freeze dry it.
That was my thing. If all else fails, I'm gonna cut it all up, put it in the freezer, and slowly freeze dry it as it goes. Like, okay,
yeah.
I'll freeze for a whole week, and I'll be fine. But that's like that was my all else fails situation.
Well, that's another idea though. You could take that and say divide the shipment up into different products. Like take like 100 pounds or 200 pounds of it and just mash it up into pulp and freeze it, and then sell 100 pounds of it. Like you don't need to sell all of it fresh.
Yeah, well, another thing I was looking at, I was just gonna turn a lot of it into juice.
Yeah.
Like I was just gonna juice a lot. Like, okay, I'm about to go juice crazy. Sour sop juice is phenomenal. So just to juice it up, and then after I turn it into juice, I put it in the freezer, and I let it thaw out. Then I put it in the freeze dry. Then I put the juice in the freeze dry, and it turns into a powder that quick.
Really? Okay. Is that what happens?
Like what happens if you have to put any juice? Like if you put orange juice in the freeze dry, it turns into orange juice powder.
Oh wow.
So that's the key to it. So I would do that. I would freeze dry probably some just as whole fruit or like in chunks. But my biggest thing is that I try to juice everything up and then just as I need it thaw it out, pour it in the freeze dryer and do it that way.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Like that is cool.
Yeah.
I gotta get myself a freeze dryer.
That's some more than multi where I feel comfortable with doing that. Before I do this endeavor, that's why I feel Chris. I'm like, it sounds good right now, but I just got a whole bunch of multi I need to get rid of.
Get rid of that full spectrum.
Once this full spectrum starts to get low, then I start looking at other endeavors I can do.
Well, I think more people are starting to kind of like be curious about it. That's what I get a lot of people asking me for it, and I do see it coming up in the orders, like increasing, especially once they sort of get it, what it is about, and how you can use it. You know what I mean? And it's almost like it's different. Like every container you make is a different dosage, in a sense,
Well, the crazy thing was is that when we first started out, and I think this is actually just off of COVID, is that I was selling a ton of purple. And then it went from people buying a ton of purple to like not that many people are buying purple like that. And I think it was because of COVID.
Yeah.
That everybody was really on it. Now is like gold. Like they can't win.
It could even have been this: that those that tried purple hated it and decided not to like it, and then turn around and told everybody, "Don't get purple. It's too fishy."
It's strong. It's strong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what a lot of people say. Oh, that purple is strong. It's on a whole nother level. Okay, so I'm gonna rank as far as fishiness. Conjures Christmas is fishy, but
I hear Crystal in the background. That's so smart. Well, you have to try Roy's. You know what I mean?
Say that I actually have to get some Roy's now.
It smells great.
I'm telling you, like I have to wash all my stuff after, like super wash. Like I'm like, man, it's just stinks. Like I understand it's not. I won't say it's bad to the point where I won't try it. Like I've tried a couple of capsules and they actually work pretty good. It's just, I like my multi. I'm not gonna lie. With because I take it in a capsule form. No, you don't want to put scuba in your coffee. No, you don't want to put scuba in your coffee. That's not it. That's not the one that you want to put in your coffee. Like gold is okay for coffee. Multi is okay for coffee. Condom Christmas is not okay for coffee. That thing is strong. Yeah, I got
That's funny.
These are capsules right here. See?
So yeah, it looks like a bud, eh?
Yeah, it does look like a bud.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. When you looked at it earlier, I was like, oh shit, maybe he thinks that, he won't know what that is. That's the stuff. I mean, it smells great.
What is that smell? I thought we had seafood.
Like, I got it in a capsule form. I still open up the bottle. I'm like, oh, man. That thing is like, so these are capsules of it right here. And I'm surprised you can't smell it.
Oh shit. Thank you.
You smell this? I can smell this.
Oh. Smell-o-vision. Do you remember Smell-o-vision?
She always said it smelled like a wet rag.
Oh shit.
A wet dish rag. Like that. Like, if I don't wipe the table with bladder rag and leave the rag out, that's what it smells like.
No, I was thinking.
Yeah, but
Speaking about Bladerack, we're supposed to be having Bladerack. We picked it up.
Yeah, did you get yours in yet?
So got it, but I almost got to be careful about how I talk about it because, dude, it is so hard to find, so rare. We have so limited quantity. It took us 2 months to amass this amount. Like we put the order in, and it took them 2 months to put it together. And so we only have 100 pounds. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Are you gonna like holy, or are you gonna break it down?
I don't think I'm gonna break it down. I think I'm gonna do the holy just how it is, but I'm gonna sell it by like half pounds and less. You know what I mean? I might have a couple of people where I might sell 5 or 10 pounds to, just because I know that they're long-time customers or whatever, right? But at the same time, I don't know when we're going to get more of this, so I don't want to put it in a situation where it's available because it will sell out. And then
you won't be able to get it back, and people are going to be looking for you. That was happening. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So, well, it's rare. I'm looking forward to trying it. It looks nice and pretty, clean,
It did actually.
Yeah.
really getting into all these different herbs and really seeing what they look like as far as whole leaf. Like, you know, you can always go online and see pictures, but to see it,
Mm-hmm.
totally, like to have it and see it is a lot different than kind of seeing it online. You're like, okay, this is like even texture wise and things of that nature that people actually look for. So, and then when you get bladderwrack from different countries and things of that nature, like it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each one's a little different, so you kind of try to find one that kind of like, okay, this is nice.
This works for me. This that. No, you're right. And I'm curious to see how this bladderwrack is different than other countries' bladderwrack and stuff. But when you're touching about the herbs, we're actually going to start getting into a lot of herbs, like a lot of herbs, like, because my partner, huh?
I need some more stuff. Like I have some, but I'm like, you know how they look a certain way. Like I start looking at everybody else sour supplements. I'm like, man, their stuff looks good. My stuff looks ashy.
I can get you some.
I got ashy sour supplements. I'm like, I don't know how good these are.
Yeah. Well, let me know. We'll talk later and figure out how much you want, and I'll put it in so the next time we ship right there, that you get the sour stop leaves and stuff. But we really want to kind of get into that, build more like drying racks, and even get like a sealer to kind of like vacuum seal the packaging, the leaves, so that the leaves lie flat and stuff. And shit.
I had a vacuum sealer around here, and I think my homeboy took it from me. Extracurricular activity.
Yes, that's how it is. Their food saver is always a good tool in the shed,
No, it was somewhere around here, then it just disappeared. I think I told him, I'm like, I'm finished. You can have it.
Yeah, I don't need it.
This is what happened. He got that, and he got my, like, I actually had a t-shirt press, too.
Yeah.
I think that, too.
Oh, yeah, so he's making...
Like, I'm started looking like, he got me for my t-shirt press, he got me for my... And he got locked up.
Oh, no. I thought maybe he was vacuum sealing t-shirts, making t-shirts and vacuum sealing.
He used it for, I guess he used it for something else.
It is what it is. That's what happens. That's why you need to stick to selling Seamoss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to
stay out of trouble.
Try to reform them and get them on to some Seamoss. But some people, they're stuck in their ways.
They don't want to learn.
Yeah.
They don't want to learn. Yeah. That's what it is. You can't, what do they say? You can't make a horse drink or whatever. You can't bring it.
Save them all, man. Can't save them all.
Can't save them all. That's a good one.
Maybe he'll get out this time and say, okay, you know what? You're right, Rick.
Enough's enough. I need to change. Yeah, man. Let's pray and hope he does,
Yeah, I think he's at that. Sometimes it's the age thing. Like, and I have to understand when you're in your 20s, like, you're invincible.
Oh, yeah, you got the whole world in front of you,
Like, you don't hear nothing anybody's really saying. You got your own plan down pat. Like, it's hard to transform somebody unless you come in making $1 million off the rip.
Unless you come and make $1 million off the what?
When you come in, like, say I just came in Seamoss and I was like, hey, man, I made $1 million off Seamoss. Then they might listen to you a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But, if you're just saying, hey, I just switched up and I make a good piece of money off Seamoss, they still don't hear it because people still think that they become millionaires off of drugs, and, like, that's like 10 years past.
Yeah, good luck. I only know like 1, maybe 2 people that have actually made significant money off of selling drugs.
Yeah.
Most get caught at some point, and then they got to reset and start at zero.
That's really the major thing. Like you a few years, and you have a good run, and then something stupid happens. Like I always tell people, get in, get out.
Yeah, make that money.
Like if you're gonna do it, understand how that works. Like, because if you're doing anything, you better be federal. Because it don't make no sense to be in state with it. You better be federal with it. So if you're gonna do it, like be federal, understand that they're it's gonna take like 6 to 7 months for them to really get a case on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you do it for 6 to 7 months and then stop. Stop for 6 months. They don't want to spend that money on looking at you and you're not doing anything, so they stop watching you.
That's it. You gotta keep it in and out. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Good.
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing? How your week been? Bro, I did a cleanse. A parasite cleanse with doctors cleanse. There was some fruits on the third day. Woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to drive to work before. My tire blew. I was happy. I went home, rest. And then, because you scan ID for 8 hours, so so I was happy. I was at home. 12 o'clock, my home was fire. And my groin area was on fire.
Wow.
So I made a call, and they said, that's called a healing crisis. So I stopped doing the cleanse because it was too much for my life. It was like flu, and after that I experienced flu-like symptoms. I went to the doctor afterwards. My vitals was really high. So your heart rate was 60 or 100, but mine was at 90.
Wow.
So right now I got some purple Seamoss prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I take that potassium, that magnesium for my heart. So I'll be alright. I'm good now, man. My voice might sound different, but I'm good. I'm just recovering now. It's crazy.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But that's why in some ways you gotta pay attention when you take these cleanses and these herbs, and when something doesn't seem right, go see. You did the right thing.
Yeah, man. I almost went to the emergency that night because I was supposed to get called. So, how y'all doing? Y'all look healthy, man.
Good. I'm tired. Yeah. No, you know what it is? I've been up since 7. I had church all day, so church is always tiring for me. And I usually get home by 4 o'clock, and then I went to the warehouse and I worked for a couple hours, and then I came here and then did the live stream. But if I had, I wouldn't feel so tired. Maybe if I had a half an hour nap or something like that. But whatever, it is what it is. I'll sleep when this is over, and then I'll sleep in tomorrow. So,
how long do you sleep for?
I don't know. On average, about 6 to 8 hours.
On an average, probably about 4, maybe 5. I sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day. I got to. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so my biggest thing is that, my body doesn't allow me to sleep over 4 to 6. After 4 hours, I'm up. I may take a nap every day, but that 4 hours is pretty much my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
4 hours, I'm up. I got to do something. It's actually, I've been sleeping a lot more since I stopped smoking cold turkey. So I started, once I stopped smoking, it's now, it feels like I sleep more, but it's just that, but it don't feel like I get a lot of rest.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dreams are so vivid. I say, I've been telling people this for the last month or so, is that, I've been smoking weed for last 20, 25 years. And so, I only remember a handful of dreams in that 25 time frame. But that's I dream, right now. Every night is, it's totally, I'm seeing certain things, it's almost like I can see what's coming next. what happens is that I start to understand it because it's not going to give you exactly what you're like. It's not give you like an exact picture, but what it does, it give you a scenario. Once you start breaking down the scenario, it's like, okay, that's what you're trying to tell me in the dream. Like, you know, you start going through all these different phases of like, I might be walking down the street with somebody and we might just be talking about something, and it's something in that conversation that kind of pops up, and it's like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Like, they're vivid right now. They did it like it's kind of like, I don't know when I'm sleeping, I don't know when I'm awake.
Wow.
Yo, let me tell you something. Listen, the best things I like about being a human, you know, when you're in a situation, you're like, oh, I saw this before. People call it deja vu, I call it visions. You know, there's a lot of things I see, and I pray I don't see them come to pass, but I saw for joy of them pass by. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing is that I'm visualizing certain things. I'm like, okay, so it may not go down exactly how I'm seeing, dreaming it, but I get the picture. And it's like, oh, okay, like I might change stuff. Like, you know, like I still, like I think I had a dream, it might have been like 2 or 3 days ago, that I was still smoking, I was still doing all this other stuff, and then the cops came. And it was like, congratulations, let me not even think about that no more. Like, it just kind of like, okay, so if you want to go back down that route, this is what's going to happen. It's like, oh, let me not even you know, visualize that. Let me not think about, okay, let me go back down that path. So, like, when I say vivid, it was like, okay, Rick, the scenario, you do this, this is gonna happen. It was like, man, you know, that's crazy, man. Like, you know, yeah. But I wish what happened this week was a dream, man. Yeah.
Well,
right? Yo, that cleanse is no joke, bro. I have to revisit it because, like, bro, I had a flu, like, I had to go to the doctor, bro. Like, that was crazy. I was like, what's up?
I had a similar experience, but I just want to get to this question that someone said. I heard you're supposed to keep going through the healing crisis. It's like a breakthrough.
Yeah, you're supposed to, but I'm gonna revisit because I was told online that you're supposed to, there's different steps. Like, I just
Yeah.
a whole lot of steps. I was like, I want to try this because it worked for one of my brethren. So I said, yo, you gotta help me out, bro. So it was working me out, it was cleansing out, but that day it just boom, I'm back. I couldn't move, man. Nothing. But all I can say is that I'm coming back to that cleansing, and I ain't gonna stop now. I'm coming right back. How you can kind of train your body for what happened. Right. And that's really what it is. That's the best thing you could have said. It's like, nah, I'm about to come back to tonight.
You're not scared. You're just regrouping.
Yeah,
Regrouping, making sure you do it right. Yeah, man. That's the smart way to do it. You know what I mean? You don't give up. You just, you know, you realize where you made the mistake and you correct it. You know what I mean?
Calculate the situation. Like, okay, let me recalculate how I'm gonna do this next time. Let me make sure I have everything down. Yeah, it's like with a lot of things that we go through. Like a lot of things that like we're not fully prepared because you know we sometimes we do feel like we're Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, I could just jump in and do this and be like, oh, hold on, this is a whole different experience. Let me go ahead and let me take a step back. Let me go ahead and say, okay, so this is what I'm going to deal with, and then you kind of gradually know, okay, so now you know the steps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid now. You know, like, I have to give a shout out to my friend, Coach Man, put me on. So I just gotta recoup and then just be able to hit it again.
Well,
but I kind of want to try it now.
Well, you know, when he talked about the flu symptoms, something similar like that happened to me when I did this breathing stuff. You know that Win Hum breathing technique? Actually, dude, you should try this. You know, you'll love this shit. And Ricky, maybe, huh?
You want to try something now after I just
No, not now, but I'll put you in touch with the girl. And in fact, we should do like some kind of session because she did it with me, and dude, it's amazing. So what she does is she leads you through this rhythmic breathing where you're like doing long breaths up into short breaths until you're holding it, and so you're like, and then and in the end you're like, and then you're like, and then you hold it, and you could see the pressure. Like at some points, I felt like my head was going to explode. Like it was crazy. And so afterwards, my whole body went into this like kind of cleansing shock where I just like expelled like I started throwing, like not throwing stuff, but coughing up stuff, and I had like complete washout. And then I went into this like flu state where I was like I felt like I was sick because I was like, what? And this happened like within a day or two. Like I did the breathing thing, I felt like instantly like weak, like within like an hour or two after doing it. Like I felt good and relieved. There was a lot of tension that was released, but then then afterwards I was just like, ugh, you know. And then I thought I caught the flu, like I was really sick, and I don't get sick. Like I'm one of those guys. I don't even have a doctor.
the body is very. That's why, like, I tell people this all the time. It's more than just Seamoss.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to it.
Yeah, you can't just take Seamoss and think that's it.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something. It's this book I have. Shout to my man, Coach. It's a book he put me on called "The Parasite, the Enemy Within," and I'm almost done with it. There's a parasite I learned about called toxoplasmosis, right? And that parasite causes stillbirth, mental disorders like within a child, and it causes blindness. I'm like, what the heck? Something so small could do something to something that's bigger than, like.
It don't belong in our body. That's the thing. Like, it's kind of like having, I kind of break down our bodies to like a computer, and we have viruses and we have certain things that really will turn our bodies on a whole different path a lot of times, and that's what it sounds like. It's like, you get a virus in your computer, it's going to do the exact same thing.
Oh. I'm feeling snackish. I'm trying to eat more healthy, even though I know these are garbage for me.
Those are my weaknesses, man.
They're your weaknesses, yeah? I've never. This is airport food? I've never had this before. I'm just curious. My wife bought them. They're like supposed to be like sweet potato chips or something. Yeah. Not bad. You know, I seen that I want to maybe bring in from St. Lucia is sweet potato and breadfruit granola. Yeah.
Like, you know what? I actually looked at that site the other day too. Oh man, that's so good.
And
that's my life.
And I think they have some other stuff. Do you know if cassava's good?
What's that?
Cassava powder. They make a lot of cassava powder.
Yeah, that's the culture, man. That was there since that all started since slavery time.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking it might be good to bring it in as an alternative to, like, say, gluten-free or something. I think it's gluten-free. I'm not sure. I gotta do more research. But I don't know. I like cassava. I remember when I was in Bermuda, I had a buddy of mine who made a cassava pie that had like chicken meat in it and everything. It was like, oh, amazing. Yeah, cassava pie. It was like chicken cassava pie. It was like some kind of Bermudian national dish. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys ever think that each human being, like, would it be able to reach its horizon is where it should be? Like, you know, like, you guys ever wonder? So I meditate that one day and night, like I was saying. I'm like, why is it that, like, when the day you be brought out the question,
Okay.
that you be bringing out,
Yeah.
you ever wonder if there'll ever be like any type of series for popular series that'll be like on Netflix, National Geographic, you know, like, what is it? Each Uncle Tate, Glossolaria, Christmas, and Kelp, and you know, like, you ever wonder if it will be on like something that, like, marijuana is a household name
So.
for every race.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think it will. I think it's going to take a little longer. I think it's going to take a couple more years. But what I'm seeing now is that, okay, so like when I would say like 3 years ago, if I thought about algae, I thought of that in a bad form. Like, you know, like, but now learning more and algae being more talked about in the good form, I think it actually can. Because and that's just my opinion. I think that it will, because now you start to hear a lot more about seaweeds and things of that nature, and it being so good. One thing I do think that's going to end up happening, and probably within the next year or so, is that we'll actually get an influx of topical products that are going to be based around seaweeds and Seamoss and things of that nature. And once you actually get topical, then I think that changes the game a little bit.
Is it possible to create like a toothpaste to put Seamoss in it?
I think so. You know what? I actually had somebody that actually contacted me yesterday, and they were talking about the Seamoss deodorant. And so I was like, okay, so there's a deodorant with Seamoss, and I'm guessing that toothpaste will be next.
They have a Seamoss coffee.
See, now you start to get into like, and that's the best thing about Seamoss in general, is that, you know, it's just now being really where people are kind of experimenting with it. And so the more you experiment, then the more that you have a lot of people that are kind of going to get into, okay, let me try this. Like this, like you say Seamoss coffee, I know a lot of people's faces perk up.
Mm-hmm.
Seamoss coffee, because, you know, they love coffee. If they can get a coffee that's actually better for them, you know, they're going to be on it. Then you got people hooked. You got, like, whoever comes out with Seamoss coffee, they got a niche that's going to probably go crazy.
Oh.
Trust me. Like, they have a niche. I actually work for a coffee company as far as they make the brewers.
Mm-hmm.
People in their coffee is a whole different level of their coffee industry.
Well,
and like that's a beast of industry. Like, and people live and die by their coffee.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to say something, Sean? I know you keep on muting your mic.
I just want to talk like, let's get a hold of Chris.
That's usually what ends up happening. Like, what ends up happening is somebody, as far as a major corporation or a major brand, will come in and start using it as in some form.
And that's what I wanted to say, is that's when you'll see the stuff coming on TV and stuff like that. You're never going to see a show until one of these big corporations get into it. Because a lot of the times, or in multiple corporations, because a lot of times when you see these shows, you're not seeing these shows because some guy just happens to decide to produce a show like that. There's companies that are paying other companies to basically push that idea and that promotion and agenda. And so when I'm producing a show, they're like, look, we'll give you some money to help you produce your show, but it's got to be about this, this, and this, and this, because we want to produce like say home renovations. Those are all pushed by companies that are pushing construction products, and so they pay these guys to go show these other guys to do these renovation shows. And so now the whole world gets into renovations, and you start buying and flipping houses. You know what I mean?
I mean, like before we even speak about the other people who are commercialized, I think it's gonna happen before them.
Not on a big level. You're not going to get enough people interested in whatchamacallit, doing a TV show.
Now, brother, let me show you something. Remember, you don't know what's on his life, and you don't know who you know.
Okay.
So don't worry about none of that.
All right. So if you're setting the pretense that something could possibly happen, if you've been talking to some little birds that have been like, okay, I take it back, but that's just my view based on what I see. You know what I mean? There is probably lots of things going on.
Another thing that you also have to look at is as far as health wise, where the world is going as far as health wise. Like, just think about it. In the process of the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, you've seen a company like Slutty Vegan go from having one spot to pretty much almost kind of dominating, kind of going to the point where they're dominating the industry. Like you, if you hear Slutty Vegan, it's known worldwide.
What's Slutty Vegan? I've never heard of that. I've heard of skinny something like that.
No, vegan is actually it's a fast. I won't even call it fast food. It's like a chain of vegan hamburgers and things of that nature.
It's the game changer. It's different.
It
makes you think like vegans were not boring, we're fun. When you go in there, you're like, hey, somebody want this, and like, someone is a virgin, and then the whole employee staff say the same thing. So
it's a whole different. And so once you get to like what she's done in the last 2.5 to 3 years, or with that brand, and like now you can see her in Target, like and it's that quick. And so I see it kind of operating because she actually has Seamoss stuff in some of her stores. Like you can go get some stuff that has Seamoss. So once it gets to the point where Slutty Vegan Seamoss, and then you actually have a different. Now you're looking at a whole bunch of other people that are kind of like, Seamoss has went that route, and it's coming. Like somebody's gonna come up with something that everybody's gonna have to gravitate towards.
Yeah. I have no doubt about that, and that's kind of like how the market's probably going to grow. But I don't believe that that's still going to result in a television show until like corporations, like I said, like they have to push that agenda. Like we won't have that kind of marketing behind it unless one of us decides to do it.
So in Canada, is it something like there's multiple like Seamoss sellers in Canada? Like, is it a lot?
No, man. The market's like I'm probably one of the biggest in Canada. There were a couple guys that I thought were bigger than me, and then when I looked at them and I met them, I realized that they weren't. And so that the market in Canada is completely underserved.
So I would just look at something like this: is that sooner or later somebody's gonna come out with, and I hope somebody's listening to this live and kind of piquing their interest. That somebody's gonna come out with like a plain smoothie or smoothie cake, but it's gonna be centered around Seamoss. And it's gonna be different. And like you know exactly what I'm saying. So once they hit it, and once they're able to form where it's almost like they can almost franchise it and put it into different. Every city will have one. Then that's when you kind of change the game. I believe. Now it's gonna happen. Like I want to see who's gonna do it first. To where it's not a gel. You're not really looking at it as gel, but you're looking at it as far as a supplement that you actually add to your smoothie. And it's really gonna be smoothie based with Seamoss incorporated. And then you got all these different flavors. Like you have a pineapple flavor. You're just coming up with all these different flavors, but it's all smoothies, it's all smoothie based or juice based. To where you actually have it where it's a juice smoothie and and they're selling coffee. Like, you know, and this is something, and I'm saying this because before COVID hit, like that was what I wanted to do. I said I just want to have a smoothie spot where I'm just selling nothing but smoothies, but it turned me into a different route when COVID, because, you know, I didn't want to get a locate, and then I just started doing a lot more wholesaling, and so I'm kind of in this wholesale range, but I'll probably end up going back to that, and if somebody beats me to it, then I love it, because it's kind of like Smoothie King and Plant Smoothie. You know, you can't have enough of them. You know, have more than one. So I think that's where it's going to go sooner or later.
Well, they're already doing it in California. They have like Seamoss shots. They're selling it for $5 extra for to add in your smoothies, and it's like a shot. Like it's not like maybe 2 tablespoons or whatever it is, like liquid. Yeah, $5 extra.
I believe it's going to be like it's going to be a shot that's based around Seamoss. So with every drink is going to have Seamoss in it. It's like that's going to be like a mainstay. Like you may actually have a smoothie that you want that's going to have Seamoss, and it might be strawberries, bananas, and then you might add something like a maca fruit to it instead of adding the other different forms that you would get from plain a smoothie or a smoothie. Now it's a healthy. Oh, let me get maca to that. Let me get a shot of ashwagandha on that. Now I think people are really, really getting into more herbs, and that form of healing. So like my sister, she gets a smoothie every day, and she keeps on saying, Rick, when you gonna come out with a smoothie? When you gonna? Cause I'm like, and now it's just kind of resonating to me. Like, okay, like if I just come out with smoothies, because you know I used to operate a plain smoothie for years. That's where that's a major background. I can sit here and make a smoothie in no time, and I don't even have to measure stuff out for smoothies. I can tell you, okay, I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put this. I know them back like the back of my hand still.
Brother, and keep that in mind for sure. Have different herbal shots. Somebody said, can you talk about different sea mosses out there? Are they all good for you for everyone? Okay, you have Labrador's gold, Beachy Mud, Carter's Christmas powder from Ireland, and Carter's Christmas powder from Rhode Island. Right? Yeah, right. Connecticut, I think. I'm not done with my studies yet. I mean, I can bring up all the results and tell you, this one is good, but all of them have good results. Each one, the first most I tested was super high in potassium, like super high. Cross Christmas, as far as I'm tracking, it's high in iron, calcium, potassium, and then we have 15 grams of protein, the one from egg. But the whole thing is just like, I'm going to tell you some research. I can't just stop right there. I'm going to have to test for chlorophyll. I'm going to have to test for omega-3. I'm not done. So, to answer your question, cross Christmas is good. For me now, in my opinion, what I like to do, I like to take powder. I like to put powder in my smoothies. Gel, I like to take the gel when it's hot and nice. I don't want it in the refrigerator, and I gotta take it out. It's hard to get it. But yeah, you might hear a lot of rumors about real Seamoss, fake Seamoss, some shit. You can't make something out from the ocean fake.
Yep.
There's no fake. But there's different qualities of each thing. Like grade A, grade E, grade C. You don't feed too much into the hype, because at the end of the day, ironically, want to know something, a secret. Where I live, where I was growing up, it was a Korean market, and they had something on it, and it said gold Irish moss. Nobody knew better, but they still used that bad boy. Yes, they were doing coughing up yibbies. I'm not saying use it now, but I would never condemn anybody for using it, because they may still get it, ironically, still get the benefits thereof. But would I ever sell that? No, I'm gonna sell you the grade A.
Exactly. Like a lot of people won't say it. I'll say it. The first batch that we had was of that quality, and it worked. Like it worked. Like I've never sneezed for like a good half an hour straight. But it worked. Like it just, and I was like, okay, so if this works, I want to see what this next strand that I'm about to get. I want to see what this grade A is going to do. Grade A was just on a whole nother different level. I'm like, okay, I was taking BC Seamoss, then I went to some A. Oh man, it was just, yeah. That was my journey. I was like, okay, so if I got the worst of it, then I know what this good stuff's gonna be like. And so you're exactly right on that. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. Even when they get the moss, it's still going to work.
Right.
And bad sea moss is probably better than 96% of the stuff that we put in our body right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I always tell people, like, I know that you sit here complaining about how bad it is, but compared to everything else we put in our body, it's still better than 96% of the stuff we put in our body. That's water.
So that's the thing, like, there's a lot of confusion going on, but I think sooner or later, us gentlemen, you'll be able to shut that down. Because enough is enough. And by now, you can relate to our Instagram if you need a research. Remember, there's going to be a couple of years from now, people are going to discover animal algae. There's over 7,000 algae in the ocean. People's going to discover something. I bet you guys, all right, you're going to be able to phytoplankton.
Yes. I know that you talked about it a couple times before.
Yeah, bro, I fell in love, and I'm not done researching.
Julien talks about it as well, phytoplankton.
Yeah, it creates 50 to 85% of the Earth's oxygen inside the atmosphere, right? So, plankton off of, what do you call it, help me out, off of SpongeBob, they make him the villain.
Yeah.
Villain. Like, really, you know what I'm saying? Seamoss from Barbados, I had a story. Seamoss from Barbados.
Seamoss from Barbados? What are you talking about? Who has Seamoss from Barbados? I'm gonna make a phone call and check this, because unless you're like personally going out and picking it, as far as I know and I'm aware, there's nobody cultivating or harvesting or exporting Seamoss from Barbados, because we get calls every day from Barbados. They're begging for us to ship them Seamoss. So
Those places like Dominican Republic, Haiti, Barbados, Bahamas, other countries that don't really export Seamoss.
mm-hmm.
You ever look at how much Seamoss abundance they have in their own ocean? I always sit there and imagine that. Like, it's probably so much down there.
I believe it. Yeah. But like I said, I don't see it coming out of there. Maybe he's the one guy that has it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it probably is good.
I haven't really heard too many people that had Seamoss in Barbados as far as help. I'm always curious what Seamoss in Barbados is like. What kind of Seamoss do they have? Do they have the Brasileiro? Do they have the Catani?
That'd be interesting. I wonder if well, I guess there's no way to show photos. That's what sucks. It would be nice to see a photo.
I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see photos of it.
we hear about Seamoss coming from everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like my little homeboy, he said that there's Seamoss in Peru.
Yeah, there's a hundred questions.
Yeah, so he was kind of breaking out of Seamoss in Peru. I was like, and he was talking about he was gonna have this for us.
Khaled sells his Seamoss from Peru.
That's another person I seen that actually has Peruvian Seamoss. He had like a gold and a purple, I believe.
Yeah.
It's funny that I'm seeing it. My question is it really Congress? Because it looks somewhat similar to Congress, but it's a little different. And so I'm like, okay, is this a different strain? Like, it's kind of like green to me now. It's like, okay, there's so many different strains of Seamoss that you see out there. Yeah.
So Ben Frank here says, do you guys eat meat? Yes, I eat meat. I eat meat and all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah, sometimes not.
But I eat lots of vegetables too.
Am I vegan? No, I'm not vegan. I'm more plant-based. I'd rather be plant-based than vegan. I guess I go plant-based.
So Mr. Forte says Barbados is the only island surrounded by two oceans. I don't know about that. I thought St. Lucia has the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean on the other side. Unless they call that the Caribbean Sea.
They probably call it the sea.
Yeah. Technicality.
To ask what's the difference between vegan and plant-based, really, it's okay. Vegans deal with more. They don't deal with animal products. Like, they're more animal. Yeah, like they don't like honey, but they eat soy. But it's based around cruelty to animals. Is more vegan. Plant-based is based around is more of a healthy lifestyle. I'll just say it like that. Okay, so
You're vegan, eh, Seamoss boss? Or okay, same thing to me. You eat vegetables and you don't eat meat.
It's totally different.
I know. I said to me.
No, you can't say that.
Why not?
You say that. You're gonna look crazy.
Huh?
You're gonna look crazy because if you come to me and say, hey, I'm watching dinner tonight. He said, don't worry, I'm gonna cook you. I got meat. I'll eat it, man. You got tofu for me. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that situation. I don't eat tofu.
Tofu's not good for you.
I don't eat that.
First of all, no. First of all, let's back up. For me, that would never happen because I would have clarified exactly what items you like and you don't like. Even if you were vegan or plant-based. I'm just like that. Like I'll say, do you eat this? Do you like that? What don't you eat? That's my first question. It is the same thing to me. Because here's the thing. You can be plant-based and or vegan and decide you don't like soy. This is how it is to me, just so you understand. You guys all eat vegetables and you don't eat meat.
And no fish. For some reason in the Caribbean, they think fish is not.
But that's the thing. Well, because some vegans don't eat fish.
Look, it's like this, man. Like, it's like, I tell people this: being vegan doesn't make you be healthy. It makes you healthy. It's about what you put in your body. That's like, I could be a vegan and eat Oreos. I could be a vegan and eat freaking what you call it?
I just soy, period. Like,
just soy. just certain things. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, out of principle, like,
All right.
my neighbors, when I go by their house, and if they have something they gonna make, if they gonna make me a meal, they won't cook it in the same oil. And I'm funny with oil. I don't cook my oil with. I only cook with oils such as grapeseed oil and avocado oil.
Yeah.
No coconut oil?
No.
Why not?
No, because that's only used for like what do you call it? I don't use it on my skin because it clogs your pores. But I'll use it for like for my teeth, right? Teeth pulling.
Yeah, oil pulling. Oil pulling.
Yeah.
I do that. It's really good.
With charcoal, you can do it with charcoal, and then.
Or you can also sesame seed oil is the best.
Well, they said watch out for a lot of seed oils.
Mm-hmm.
Seed oils aren't really good for you.
Yeah, there's something about sesame seed oil. It's probably the best for oil pulling.
But yeah, I don't mind, but you know, I'd rather be plant-based than vegan.
Soy destroys the stomach. Sorry to interrupt you. And then it has estrogen. Makes you into a girl.
About that. Yeah, soy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm good. Like, you know, the funny thing is that I've been, you know, I like, you know, when I started in like 2002, 2003, I started doing the baby diet, like, that kind of changed my life as far as how I started really looking at food and thinking about food. And there's certain things I still, like, I think when you actually came visit me, I was like, hey, like, beef ribs, like, I'm a fan of beef ribs. Like, when I see beef ribs, it's like, you know, it's that I can't get away from. And so I try to, it's more of a balance. Like, I always tell people, like, I wouldn't suggest eating a ton of meat because it's going to, first of all, your body's not going to be able to process it the right way. Yeah, we're not naturally carnivorous. Like, your body's not going to process it the right way. It's almost like it's hard to go cold turkey.
Well, for me, I'm not going to say do not eat it. Alright? I'm not telling you to do that. But what I'm saying is, on a scientific level, we don't have the same gastric acidic pH level in our stomach the same way as an animal.
Exactly.
Alright.
We can't break it down the right way.
Right. Now, two. Over and over again, time has shown whatever you get from that animal, you get something to substitute. Right. Number three. You can't go for cold turkey, but it's a process. What I did was, I went to Japan for 6 months. I said I'm going to fish. After that, I came back to San Diego, became a vegan. But I didn't know better. I became a vegan because at the time my ex-wife, she was vegan. I didn't know why I was become a vegan. I was kind of health conscious, you know, and then later on in life, then I started becoming more health conscious of it. But you have to know why you're doing it. It's not a trend, it's a lifestyle. There's different levels to it.
Yeah. And then another thing that I always say this is that a lot of times with all food is not the food that you're eating, it's actually the spices and herbs that you're putting on it. And so we're like the meat is the meat a lot of times is like you can season anything into what you want it to be a lot of times.
No.
And I don't know, I guess I got to that point where I'm like, okay, you know, you can start seasoning and stuff. And once you start seasoning, like, okay, this tastes just like it tastes like meat, but we're so conscious of how the texture is. Like a lot of times, like it's hard to stop because you're used to a texture and you're used to certain, or it may be just nostalgia. Like, you know, if you grew up eating meat, then you know certain foods are gonna make you think about certain times in your life. Like, you know, this is the craziest thing, but every now and then I would look at chitlins like, man, ooh, I want some chitlins, and I'm like, what am I thinking? But you know, I grew up, and that was like a delicatessen. Like when you say that, like, oh, we're cooking chitlins, everybody would just go crazy, and you know, it's like, oh, everybody cooking chitlins, so it's more nostalgia than anything. It's like you start looking at it like, okay, it brings you back to a time in your life that, you know, everybody was coming together, and they were formulating, and it was like, oh, you got chitlins, and like you wanted to be a part of that feeling, and that's really a lot of times what's hard for people to get away from. Like it's hard to say that you're going to a barbecue or you're going to Thanksgiving dinner and not have certain items. Like you get stuck in that nostalgia of
the turkey,
the feeling of it. And once and sometimes a lot of times it's hard for a lot of people to get away from it.
I guess that's why you see all that stuff like vegan turkey or this, because I'm thinking like, okay, why do they like?
Did you mute it?
Oh, yes, I did. I was talking about vegan turkey. Like I said, maybe that's why like they make this stuff like vegan turkey, and just because I'm thinking like if you're a vegetarian or you don't eat this stuff, why would you want to have like a fake turkey or what? Like you would eat something totally different. Like, you know what I mean?
It's the nostalgia part around.
Yeah, it's the nostalgia. But you want to know something before we get into another topic. I don't know if you saw me laughing earlier. It's because I'm thinking I'm listening to sorry, I don't know your real name. Like it's Seamoss boss. Yeah.
My name is
Giovanni. Maybe you did tell me and I forgot it. Sorry, Giovanni. So I'm listening to Giovanni tell his story, and he's like, "Yeah, I got married, and then later on in life," and I'm like, "Later on in life?" I'm like, "When did this guy get married? Like he's 15? Like, dude, you look like you're like 26. Like, like later on in life." I was like, "Fuck."
I'm 27.
Oh.
Military though. I got married at the age of 21.
Yeah. Okay.
That's military culture.
Yes. Real early.
We won't make you turn especially if they want cooking. Like you gonna eat what they give you. You know, so it's easy to turn vegan if your girl vegan.
That's
like
true.
That's an easy turnover right there.
So Corey says, "How long do you guys get a cold, and how long does it normally last?"
Cold.
I like never get a cold. I think the last.
Now and then, and I'm guessing that, like, but I get it from our children most of the time. Like,
Yeah.
Like it's not like I catch it by myself. It's like I'll be holding my son and he'll sneeze in my face, and it's like, okay, I know what's gonna happen next.
And those guys go to daycare, and that's it. Like.
Yeah, like, but that's another thing. My daughter go to daycare, come back, and she be sniffling, and one of me or Crystal, one of us are gonna get sick, and so if one of us gets sick, the other one's sooner or later gonna get sick.
Yeah. No, my kids would get ear infections all the time from the daycare. Like it's crazy. Like, and it was like when we first started bringing them, we're like, what the hell? These kids never get sick. Now they get ear infections. Like, and then we talked to the doctor, and they're like, yeah, it's common in daycare and stuff like that. But I don't even have. I think the last time I got sick, I was it was probably a few months ago. It was for like 3 days, and I think it was COVID that I had. And then the time before that was 2019, and I think that was COVID-19, COVID-2. That was like November. I got it just before Christmas. I was sick for 4 days.
During COVID. like when COVID was going on, I never really got sick.
No.
I think so this is another thing is that like now I have to figure out because like being in the South and this pollen count, like sometimes like I used to never have allergies and now I actually have allergies. And so allergies sometimes feel like you have to hold because you're so congested. You're like, oh man. And then and all this other stuff. And so like that's one thing I have to start differentiate is that if I have allergies or if I'm sick, and most of the time allergies, especially like right about now. I think I had allergies like I think it was a week or two ago, and I was like, man, I wanted to go do all type of videos and stuff like that, and I couldn't even talk.
I'm gonna get you some. I'm gonna show you something you need to get for your allergies because I'm the same way. Dude, I'm allergic to like everything, like literally everything.
Everything. I say everything. You're allergic to everything.
So, this stuff. You ever heard of Flonase?
Yeah, I've never used it though.
This thing. Yes, this stuff is amazing. Yes, this thing is amazing. When I put this in my nose, it's like almost like it opens up the passages so well that I get like high because all this oxygen starts going to my brain.
So this is the thing that like I want them that like refrain from taking medicine.
I know.
And the only time I would take medicine actually like is because of allergies. Like that's the only. And my body doesn't react to medicine.
No.
Last time. Okay, so you just break. Last time I got all the side effects that you get because I don't take medicine. Like, I'm like really when I say I'm natural. Like I've tried to be as natural as possible. I try to do like that, and then but allergies is like a whole nother different beast. I don't know. Like this. Like if anybody has a natural relief for allergies, like especially this Georgia pollen, because this Georgia pollen's on a whole nother level. Like you can actually look up in the air and see it. Like
I have one natural remedy. You're probably not gonna like it.
And then I don't like medicine, so anything before medicine. I'll be honest with you.
Alright. You got cayenne pepper at home?
Yes.
Alright. 1 teaspoon in hot water. Mix it for 10 minutes. Make it simmer 3 to 5 minutes and drink that.
See, you have me doing that tomorrow just to try it out.
The natural medicines used to help with upper respiratory infections and as well allergies. So you're not gonna like it because it's spice, but hey, it's gonna be able to cause you what?
All that stuff out. Hey, I'm like, gosh, all that stuff. Like I did Dr. Sebi's raw diet for a while. Like, I'm like, ain't nothing top that. Like, if you ever took his tea back in the day, you can take his tea back in the day. You can take his. Like that junk is terrible.
Yes. But they can let it speak. Yes. I think it was sorry. Somebody said he used that with a high blood pressure, bro.
See, yeah, now you're gonna have me doing that. I'm gonna be doing that. I appreciate that too, because he has to force me sometimes to take an allergy pill. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then it gets to the point where I can't breathe. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it now.
I usually have to end up taking the inhaler. I have a blue one that I take for breathing because it will start closing the throat.
I have one more question before I wrap up or go inside and rest. Because I love the nighttime. I
I'm surprised you're up this late. Like I thought normally you're like. Oh. Nice. Okay. You can go first. I'll probably take longer.
I'm gonna try to make mine as short as possible. I want to change the narrative of black men, specifically street men that kind of grew up doing certain things. Like I feel like the narrative right now is like we need something else that's on the streets that's feeding our community. Like you had the late 70s, early 80s where they flooded our cities with dope. And the same way that our culture is so big on dope and big on, the drug culture and the gang culture and things of that nature, my biggest thing is to switch the narrative to where we're looking at it as far as now we can have other sources of weight. It's almost the exact same thing, but it's actually in the good realm. That's the biggest thing with Seamoss. When I first got into it, you gotta understand, like I was pretty much one foot out. I didn't want to be in this situation anymore. But it's hard to tell young people, hey, stop doing what you're doing if you don't have an alternative for them. And when I started dealing with Seamoss, it was like the exact same thing I'm doing, but it was just good for you, and it was good for the community. I'm like, well, why? If I know that this is how would I continue to do what I'm doing? And it was easy for me to say, you know what, I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm going over here and I'm doing this. Like and to build a community and this. Like I want to see young guys that's copping a bag of Seamoss and out there slinging Seamoss. He's like, you go, hey, I got Seamoss. He's like, and that whole mind frame and to the point where just think about how your grandma be happy for you. Like, my baby out there, he got that Seamoss going and things of that nature. Like, a lot of people don't have that right now because our youth is actually they're acting leaning towards the other because this is what's been promoted in culture for a long time. Like, so I want to switch the culture up. Like, and not missing just getting, like, it's almost like redemption. Like, when you've done so much stuff that that's been bad, and it's like, okay, so I get a chance to redeem myself. And so I get a chance to redeem everything I've done did. It's like, okay, I can actually start making this community right instead of how somebody feels like, okay, I've been taken from the community, or we got the community looking bad, to be honest with you. And just to see like a grocery store on every block that sells nothing but good produce and herbs and fresh fruits and things that actually are going to preserve us instead of killing us, because we only got one vessel, and right now we are destroying our vessels, and we've actually been programmed to destroy it. So I think that's been my main focus, and that's why I always come through it almost with a street point of view about it. Like I don't want to sugarcoat it. I want you to still feel that same feeling that you got from when you were doing that, but now you're actually doing it in a light that your grandparents, that your mom, that people around you can be proud of. Like, a lot of these guys, they fighting demons because, you know, their parents ain't proud of what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that would be my biggest thing. That's my main goal. That's my main purpose is switch the narrative, because I think there should be more people that are transferring over. Like, okay, well, if you know that you can find a healthy alternative, why not? That means that you're hooked on what you're doing. That means it's like you can't stop because you're hooked on what you're doing. You know, it's not about the money anymore. It hasn't been about the money for a long time. We've been stuck, and we're stuck in a culture that this is what they kind of bred us to do it now. It's like, you know, you can't get away from it.
It's like we believe there's no option. You know what I mean?
Like when you feel like there's no option, or you feel like the culture is saying that you have to, and this is how you get money, and you know, things of that nature, then yeah, you run into those, like, that's what you want to do. Like, you know, and even like me personally, and I always say this, like, I'm looking now about how long I smoked. I'm like, dang, why? It's the culture. Like, I grew up on it. Like, you know, when I was 13, 14 years old, I'm listening to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and The Chronic. You know, and that's what raises you. That's what you feel like, okay, so this is the culture. This is what we do. And then after a while you start thinking like, okay, so what did all I miss out on? And sometimes it shouldn't take somebody like myself 20-some years to figure it out. But it does, because we're trapped in a culture that a lot of times that same culture will actually get you put in jail. And now we stuck on strikes at a young age because we fall in a culture that's made us like that. And we don't know what it is. It's just we've been programmed. Like, we listen to music. We watch movies. Like, and I'm still like, I still watch these movies right now. And I'm just like, man, like, this is the culture. And I heard somebody say, like, I was listening to something and it kind of really hit hard because it was a white guy that said, he's like, you know what? Like, it's not racism, it's y'all culture. Like, if y'all stop glorifying the things that y'all glorify, then maybe you actually get a lot more in life. And I was like, you know what? It hurt to hear it, but he was right. Like, I couldn't have, like, okay, you know, like, he's right. Like now we have all the chances in the world. But we're stuck in a culture that's pretty much just setting up for we only have a few options. And what happens is we get stuck early in life, especially black men. We get stuck super early in life, trying to come out of a hole. Like, you know, you get stuck in a hole 16 to 19. You get stuck in a hole because, you know, most of the time you're gonna get a charge or something's gonna happen to where now you find yourself in an uphill battle, or you're not going to school, your grades just weren't that good because you got all these other situations. And now, even with these young kids, I see it already, is that you 16, 18, 19 years old trying to be a millionaire already. Mm-hmm. That's what the culture's telling you have to do. Like, you're trying to keep up with what you see what's going on TV, and you see an 18-year-old talking about, I'm a millionaire, I got this, I got that. And now, you know, you feel like that's what you got to do. Like, I got to be a millionaire. How do I get this million? Well, shoot, I only got a couple options. Man, I'm uncoordinated. I can't play sports. Well, shoot, I can. Man, my homeboy outside got a Benz. Like, I know what he do. Let me try to do that. And now you start looking up to those guys that actually got Benzes, got these certain cars that you want. And you don't know any alternative, and not to mention that, like we have a problem with microwave community. We want everything really quick.
No one wants to work for it.
Super work for it. Like, we don't want to super work for it because we're looking at people that it don't really feel like they've actually been super working for it. Like, they got it quick. I'm like, okay, if he can get it quick, why can't I get it quick? And so you try to go the same route. I don't want to keep on going on. No, I'm going to let you answer Julien, but that's really my scenario and how I feel about it. And it just like how my platform is set up is that I'm, like I said, until I get more young guys selling Seamoss than selling drugs, then I'm not going to slow down. Like, I'm going to keep on screaming, you know what I'm saying? Seamoss is a lot better than what you're doing right now. I can show you how to make money off of it, and it's real easy. And you don't have to change almost anything that you're using. You can keep the same utensils and do the exact same thing, and change it up. It's just that you just changing up
the market.
You're changing up the perception of how people are going to see you. Like, you're a threat. You're a threat to the community until you change your ways. And then once you start selling Seamoss,
you're like an asset.
They look at you a totally different light. Like, and I'm a product of that. Like, people look at me totally different right now. You know what I'm saying? And I know that. They're like, bro, you was just. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Look what I did.
Like, and people, like, I don't really have to talk about it. Like, people verify it. Like, that joke was active. You went from active to saying, you know what? Like, I never was a dealer. I was a businessman that ended up selling something because that was where the money was. So I look at myself. I've always looked at myself as a businessman. A hustler. I can sell you anything. Just
that was what was in season.
That was that, and truthfully, that was kind of like a family situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people in my family, that's the route that they took, and so that's what I knew growing up. Like, that all else fails, I'm gonna go with what is, like, when you say your back against the wall, you're just gonna, like, you just react. And so back against the wall, I was broken. I was like, well, shit. One thing I do know, I do know how to put it on the scale. I do know I can do this, and it was second nature because I seen it happening so much in my younger ages.
Well, for me, it's really similar to what you're doing or wanting, except it's more for me based in St. Lucia, and this is something that has been in my heart, or almost like Rick, when you talk about visions and you're seeing these things play out. I've been seeing this play out, like what I'm doing now. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I knew that I would be coming to St. Lucia and doing business with people. Now, originally, I thought it was going to be honey, but my whole point was that I wanted to go there and show people the opportunity. Because when I would go there, I would see all this opportunity, all these possibilities and stuff like that. And these guys would think that sometimes it's hard to see something when it's right in front of your face, right? And so I wanted to basically go down and show people, like, this is how you can make money and this is how easy it is. And so when I came down and started doing the Seamoss, originally, like I said, it was for honey, but then I moved it to Seamoss, and that's what I've been doing. Like, we do more than just sell Seamoss. Like, we help a lot of people get started in the business. We do a lot of investing, like loaning people money for ropes. I've given like I'll connect people with, like, say I have I've had sellers come to me and say, Julien, hey, I see what you're doing for the community, this and that. I want to help more and this and that. And so I'll be like, okay, here's one of my farmer friends. You buy off them, because the farmer friend would come to me and be like, dude, how do you get in the market? I don't know what to do. Da 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 da. And it's like, well, have you done this? Have you done that? Sometimes they've never even like boxed the Seamoss to export it, right? So like, how do you get them through that stage to learn it? You know what I mean? And so a couple of times I've put them in contact with the buyer, and I've walked them through the full state, and I've told the buyer, like, this is his first time doing it. This is what to expect. And if there's any problems, call me and I'll help you do, like, you know what I mean? And so why do I do this? It's because the more people that get into this business to see what they're doing, the more, like, it's almost like you got to live by example. You know what I'm saying? And so by us doing what we're doing, it shows them, hey, if these guys can do it, so can I. And that's pretty much what's been happening in the last couple of years. You've seen more sellers coming out of St. Lucia selling Seamoss than there was 2019. And a lot of it has to do with because they saw us, what we were doing, and they were like, shit, if these guys, they just, and I would come online and tell you exactly what I was doing. And I told people the amount of solutions that would call me personally and say, hey, who do I ship with? How do I ship? Da-da-da-da-da. No problem. I've never ever held back any information on anything we've done. And the way I see it, if you're willing to come in and work twice as hard as I am to get further ahead than I am, then you deserve to be there. I don't see any competition. There is no competition. This market is huge. And the sooner I get to show these St. Lucians that, the sooner they'll stop fighting with each other and stop, like, you know what I mean, trying to compete with each other. Because if we all work together, we could build something miraculous. And one of my biggest fears in the industry right now is that a huge corporation is going to come in and work some deal with the government and basically take control of a large area of Seamoss thing, and then turn around and turn all these people that were independent workers and farmers into into employees.
Labor.
Exactly.
Cheap labor.
Exactly.
And I think you hit on something as well. Like, exactly the second thing is that importing, exporting, and connecting with people outside our country to actually better their situation. Like, and I think that's really what's a big part about it is you see, like I see in the States, like a lot of these young guys need a better situation. But when I actually started looking at St. Lucian, I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of other people that you could have went to, but St. Lucia, it was something about St. Lucia and improving the environment in St. Lucia. Just for import export, I'm big on, like, I actually wanted all black everything. And there's nothing against anybody that's white or anything of that nature. It's just something that I wanted to see. Like, okay, can we have an industry where we actually can have black farmers, black buyers, selling to black people, and it actually produce, because right now we don't really have any industries that predominantly us.
Not anymore.
That's control.
There used to be marijuana, but not anymore.
Yeah, like, we have control over that.
I'm kidding. I was just making a joke.
Yeah, like that's on the low. That's always been there, but we actually, but see what it is like with most things, we popularize it so they can make money off of it. Like, so, and then we spend all our money on it, and it goes, and it leaves our neighborhoods and goes back to where it goes back to them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing. But how about you, Giovanni? That same question goes to you, because it's yours.
You can't sneak away from this.
Yeah, you can't sneak away. Like,
what is your why? Or what is your sort of goal? Like your dream, like if you can accomplish this. Like if you can accomplish something.
Take you every day and say, you know what, this is the reason why I do this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my why, because I know that God can take something so messy and make it look beautiful. Right? Like, go through the divorce. I just joined the army, and Seamoss about something about me. My main goal is this: that Seamoss is a household name. So you break down to you. You go in the hospital, you go on the vending machine, get yourself a 2 ounce or 1 ounce pouch. You can go
Okay.
But yeah, I like what you guys were saying. Like you point out about these big companies coming and buying out cheap labor. You saying that hey, you was in the background while you was doing certain things, and then you was able to still do the same thing, but in this industry. But it's good for people. You guys, like I never told you guys before, but both of you guys inspired. Keep doing what you're doing. Do not get discouraged. Right? Remember, only a foolish dog barks at a flying bird. So keep soaring, because the eagle never looks down. You remember, the eagle never hang out amongst chickens. Because why? Because chickens can't fly. They always on the ground.
Hey, that's a good thing to hear, because especially today, especially today, that's actually some good words to hear, especially today.
Well, hey, hopefully we see each other.
Yeah.
And hopefully we see each other again, Rick. God bless you all. Take care. Remember, health is wealth.
Yes.
Man, you have a good one, bro.
You too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that was actually a good question.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time somebody really asked me that. Well, they ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think I mostly tell you about that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people ask me, but you know what? I think about it every morning I get up. Every morning that I get up and I thank God and I thank Him for giving me this opportunity to make the impact that I'm making. And sometimes I can't even go into the things that we're doing because it's just like it would look like you're bragging, and that's not why we're doing it. Right? You, Rick, you know some of the stuff we're doing, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I do it. That's what gives me my engine and stuff like that. To see like this, and I mean, my goal would be to take every guy that has to hustle off the street and give them an opportunity to do something different and make something legitimate. Because the St. Lucian people are one, extremely smart and intelligent. Okay, people don't realize. I don't even think they understand in some ways how smart, intelligent. Just overall, they're extremely smart and intelligent, and they're extremely hardworking and they're passionate. You know what I mean? And so I feel like, yeah, they're beautiful people, beautiful country, and they deserve as many opportunities as they can get. I hope that they, not just in Seamoss, but like just in other areas too. You know?
Because it's that gateway.
That's what it is.
To other things that are to come. And that's a big thing as far as just changing narrative. Like right now, Black men in America, the narrative is not good.
No.
Like really, truly, I say this all the time. Like I think they want us extinct as soon as possible. Yeah.
Some ways I think, but in some ways I feel like we create this. We could change this. Like this is why like we're doing this stuff that we're doing. Like there's a lot of Black people I know that would be like, "No, you're crazy. I'd never have another guy on my show." And no, this is my show. And then like even in my church, like the other day, well, not the other day. It was today, and I hope they don't watch this because they're talking bad about them. But so they sell treats and stuff after the church and stuff. And today I decided I'm going to, because this lady in the church was bugging me about me getting a coffee. So I was going to go get her coffee, but I was like, wait a minute, what am I going to get? One coffee? And there's like hundreds of people in the church. I show up with, you know what I mean? So I went and got a bunch of coffee, and I decided like, okay, for the men's group, we're going to start giving this as a thing to people coming into the church. You can have some free coffee and some, maybe a donut or something like that, right? So the lady that runs the kind of concessions and stuff like that, I'm like, so do you mind? Like, how do you think about this stuff? Because I'm basically giving away free stuff. And she's like, oh, I don't think people should be coming to church to drink coffee for free. But you can tell she was more bitter because I was cutting into her fucking concession sales. And so it's like,
should they come to work should they come to church and start buying stuff from the concession?
But here's the thing: most of the people that are drinking coffee don't want our stuff from the concession stands. They don't want the pop or the juice otherwise they would have got that. You know what I mean? And what's wrong with just having like it's a gesture? It's like a gift here. You know what I mean? Thanks for coming. You know, we appreciate you.
You know what? And it's good that you said it. This is easy though. Like right now, I do feel a shift as far as with men working together.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially black men working together and coming together for the greater good. I don't like, especially with the Seamoss industry.
Mm-hmm.
I really see that it's a lot different. Like, you know, how there's so many of us that, you know, and people don't see it because a lot of times it's behind the scenes that we deal with. Like, we actually communicate with each other. We talk to each other. It's like, I don't really see that much hate going on as far as the people that are around me and the people that I deal with. Like, there's so much love. There's so much connection. And there's so much, hey, well, like there's a lot of us that work together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and do I think this would have been that like 5-10 years ago? No. I think we've been all kind of clawing at each other, trying to, you know what I'm saying, everybody trying to come up. Now it's like, okay, man, like whatever we can do to just push this industry to a certain place, because I think, you know, we all know how big this could be.
Mm-hmm.
And with it being, with knowing how big it could be, it kind of puts us all in the same mind frame of, okay, let's push this industry and let's get it to a point and let's actually keep it ours.
Yeah. And just respect each other. You know what I mean? Like, work hard, do your thing. You know what I mean? Just have respect for each other. Like,
going through the same struggles.
Yeah. Like, earlier when I mentioned how the Canadian market was underserved, right?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I'm not trying to serve that market is because I want the people that I'm selling to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I respect the fact that this is what they're doing, and it's not for me to come in and try and steal every sale. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of know my place, and I'm pushing you guys to move ahead, and that's where a lot of these sort of bigger sellers should be looking at, is not trying to compete with each other. Because I've talked to some of these buyers, and they're saying, yeah, like, I was buying off this guy, and, you know, I was getting this price, and then I talked to someone else, and they're getting it for $2 less, and they're buying half as much. You know what I mean? And now I see him on the same platform I'm selling on, and he's selling it for less. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's, you know what? That's, yeah, because when I first started out, that was the main thing, is that I really, like I always told you, I wanted to be in the background. Like, you know, even try to compete with y'all. Like, I wouldn't even come to Facebook. I would not even try to sell on Facebook, because I was like, you know what, how can I sell on Facebook when I see 5 to 10 people that I sell to?
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on. Like, I can't compete with the people that I'm selling to.
Yeah. My own customers. It doesn't make sense.
I was wondering, like, hey, you know what, I'm not even going to go on Facebook. And yeah, it got to the point where now, like, a lot of these people are my equals. And I'm actually happy about that. Like, I'm happy that a lot of people that I started selling to are actually at a point where they're doing major things. And it's like, okay, so now I feel like I can kind of step back into, like, and that's another reason why I never sold gel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was hard for me to sell gel, knowing that majority of the people I was selling to, that's what their main product was.
Yeah.
And so so how can I help you guys get into a whole nother different, or how can I carve my own niche out, and then I can do the exact same thing. And then once everybody starts making powder and making capsules, then guess what? I'm gonna figure out something else too.
Yeah. And just keep it moving.
Pushing it. I'm gonna keep on pushing. Like, okay, so yeah, I love this game, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I say I love it, I love it. Like, I love waking up making capsules, you know.
Doing all that stuff. Yeah, man.
Like right now, my phone is sitting on a box that I have to box up right now. Like, I got Seamoss powder right here. Like, it's everything. Most everything. I got the capsules right here. Like, you know, like my whole, you look at my background, you probably see Seamoss stuff in the background. This is life.
Well, we're all in it.
And the same passion I had for the other game is the same passion I'm having for this game. Like, it's actually probably double it because guess what I can do now? I can market and advertise. I can do all this stuff without getting into like, okay, like, you know, and Crystal gets on to me because like I'm reluctant to get in front of a camera. She's like, you know what? You can do it now.
Yeah, you're not worried about it. You don't have to, you know.
And I got homeboys that they actually get on to me like, Rick, man, you supposed to be out here doing this, man, you get an opportunity. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I'm like, you know what, all the stuff that I was talking about that, you know, when you in that game, you're like, man, if I had this chance, man, I'd be over here, I get the billboard, I do this. And I was like, and so when I got the opportunity, and I always tell people, like, why you get a billboard? Because that's one of the things that I always said I wanted.
Yeah.
Like I always said I wanted a billboard. Man, when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna get a billboard. I'm gonna have my name on the billboard and stuff like that. Man, okay. So I'm living out my dream stuff. Like all right, I'm like, okay, I lived everything I wanted to do. And everything to do in business, doing it. Like all the stuff that, you know, we say, hey, if I was doing this, I'm able to do that now. Can't get enough of it.
No. Yawning's making my eyes water. But yeah, no, I feel you. You know, especially being able to stand out.
Like now, you know, the funny thing is that I help so many people out with their business that sometimes I don't get to focus on mine. Like, you know, people come with me with business suggestions all the time. Like, oh, listen, you should do this. And, you know, I'll go in and I'll formulate their whole business. But that's what I love to do. Like, you know, and there's so many people that I see the name of their business. I'm like, yeah, I just start smiling. I'm like, yeah, I did that. Like, you know, I help them with their label. Like I can see, I know the labels that coming through mine. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know the LPD label. I'm like, I get happy. I don't get teary-eyed. I'm like, because when they make it, like, you know, most people will remember.
Yeah.
Like, and that's all it is.
But, yeah, and it's even just being a part of that change. Like, you help spark that movement that could totally drastically change the course of his life. You know?
Yeah, that's the best thing. Like, the best thing I look at is that, like, especially a lot of people that start off buying from me, and when I see where they're at right now, and you know, anybody that's actually bought from me knows that I'm a walk in. Like, whatever you need, I'm going to. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to give you all the information. You ask me something, I'm going to give it to you as far as any information, and I'm not going to get in the way of you actually getting to the level that you want to be at. And so when I see a lot of these people and their businesses are flourishing, you know, it's kind of like this proud moment. It's like, you know what, man, I've never won. And when he bought his first 10 pounds from me, man, yeah, that was, you know, and people don't understand. Like, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember almost all the times that you bought Seamoss from me. Like, I'm one of them. Like, I remember, and so even this box that stands, like, I could, like, the box that I had my phone on, on the first time this person bought Seamoss from me and what they've been doing, and like, and their gradual, like,
their journey.
Yeah, their journey, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful to see a lot of times. And even the people that, you know, like I had this lady. She called me this week and know I had gold back. I'm like, yeah, I've been had gold. But she got mad at me because I'm always in the background. She's like, Rick, we don't never see you, never. Like, no, you need to be out in the foreground. I'm like, huh? She's like, no. And so, like, she had a lady with her that said that she had cancer and things of that nature. And they've been going to the doctor, and she's been taking the stuff that the lady's been giving to her. And a lot of the stuff is cleared up where she, like, you know, the last time I'm like, and she's thanking me. I'm like, thanking you. I'm like, I should be thanking you. Like, like I appreciate it, you know, and I don't be really thinking about it like I do it for that, but like I'm so thankful that people come and buy 10 pounds from me, people buy 5 pounds from me, people buy 3 pounds from me.
That's a blessing, because that's like for them to even trust you to give you that money. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and knowing that this person, like a lot of people didn't know me from a campaign. And they would call, and then they would send me a message and ask me certain things, and I hope she actually looks at this as well, you know, because like she's like, oh, because you know they don't even know that I was probably doing live. Like you try to stay in the background because I always want to be Clarence Avon. And like people would be like, who's that? I'm like if you know music, he was a guy that behind a whole bunch of stuff, and you know, he was a go-to guy. So, you know,
sorry to cut you off, but it's funny you say that. Ashen is a living Clarence Avon. And I told him when I met him, I said, you're Clarence Avon, and I'm like, you're Quincy Jones.
See, and so that's always been like, okay, I just want to be Clarence Avon of this Seamoss industry. Like that's even how I would even move and like connecting people behind the scenes, and like, okay, so like you do this and you do this, man, y'all should get together, y'all should, and or just kind of formulating deals, or even like I remember the first time that we even had a conversation, it was based upon somebody talking crazy about St.Lucian. And I remember that conversation because you sent me a message like, I can't believe this guy. I'm like, I know. And you know, and I remember that conversation. I was like, man, yeah, this guy hit me up. Like, man, this guy kind of cool. Like, you know, good energy.
Yeah.
And like that always stuck in my head because I didn't know who seen that. Like I was like, okay. I was like, man. I almost went to go see that guy. Like really, truthfully, like I was like, I'll be in Vegas tomorrow. Like, if you keep on talking, I'll be in Vegas. Like I'm not, you know, because I wasn't that far removed from my situation. Like so, like this is how they get down. Like,
okay, let's see what's up. Was it the same guy that who was getting the Seamoss from St. Lucia, or no? He was talking to him.
That he was going to take over St. Lucia.
That's right. I think those guys, they're still around, but you never see that guy anymore. I believe it was My Grind is Organic.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I can't remember because like he listen after that. I called him a culture vulture. Like, you know, he was a culture vulture. Like I'm looking at it like, bro, like you playing Nipsey Hussle, all this stuff, and I know that you're Caucasian. I know that you're acting a certain way to get a sale. I'm like, man, I wasn't with it. Like, I wasn't with it. And
look,
and when you were gonna take over, I'm gonna take over Lowell St. Lucia. I'm like, you gotta be out your mind. I'm like, you know, do you hear what you're saying right now? Like, if anybody in St. Lucia was watching this, they probably going nuts right now. Like, they probably, go over there and try to take it over now. It just says some BS like that. I'm like, bro, oh man. And then my thing is that, you know, you're portraying something that you're not, and it makes us look bad over here. You know, and that's the biggest thing. I was like, man, don't make us look bad if you're not even from this.
Yeah. Well, to me too, it's like this. No guy, any guy, like, how do I put it? It's like if you were serious and you really thought you could take it over, hell no would you tell anybody about it. You know what I mean? You keep your mouth shut and just do it. Why are you telling everybody this is what you're going to do? When you need their help? Like, why do they need to know? Just take over.
What he was doing, like he would get on with other people that really wasn't, like, you gotta understand, when I got in 10 toes deep. Like, I wasn't around with it. Like, and so you got a lot of people that at that time were just kind of starting and they didn't really, they weren't connected.
Mm-hmm.
I've been connected since the start. And so it was a little bit different for me. I'm like, bro, like I give money to these people. Like, if I wasn't even getting Seamoss, I was sending money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it was a little bit deeper. To me, I'm like, okay, so, you know, I really mess with these farmers. I really mess with these people now. It's like these people are changing my life.
Yeah.
You about to talk reckless? Man, come on, man. Like, I was really looking at booking a flight. Like, oh, I can be in Vegas in a few hours.
Yeah. Well, I think someone spoke to them because after that kind of situation, and I kind of like called some, like, I think I pointed some things out, like, oh, so you want to say this, that, I'm going to go check some things, you know what I mean? And then that was it. I didn't hear anything of it. It was like, because I called his bluff.
I think that's the last time I ever seen anything of him after that. Like, it was like he was there, and then, you know, it's kind of like when certain people are in this way, and it's kind of based on something like today. Like, you know, like I argue different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I'm not going to argue with you like that. Like, you know, I'm just going to let you shoot yourself. You know, and that's what he did with that one statement. Like, based on emotion, based on that guy, you kind of shoot yourself. And I'm like, go ahead, shoot. Like, bro, like, I ain't even have to do nothing to you. You did it to yourself. Like, that one comment that you made, you know how you like, damn, I wish I would never said that.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he shouldn't. He's like, you know how you said, and after that, it was over with. Like, dang, I said the wrong thing. But a lot of these people expose themselves because they're not really, I don't know what they're in it for. And then you start to see what they're in it for, and you start to feel the energy that they got.
Yeah, to each his own. I find, like, some people just don't know how to do good business. And so they think that that's how that business is done. And then sometimes in short term, you know, you can gain a lot of business being dominant or aggressive or this and that. But like long term wise, it's a lot of wasted energy. You know what I mean? And you'll tire yourself out real quick in the long term. And I feel like in any business, it's better just to kind of like work hard. Don't focus on, like, the only reason why you should be looking at the other competition is to know what not to do and to get ideas. That's it. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself and just work hard. And to make sure you're working harder than them, you know?
Yeah, I think there are some people that just, like, you know, they grew up just operating in a certain way. Like, you know, I call it, like, they must be single. They must have
single kids.
Only
child, yeah.
Right. You know, I'm cool with it's just how you go about it. Like, if you go about it to where, like, it's like you helping out. Like, if you, I won't even say helping out. It's kind of how you go about it, how you speak about it, how you even post. Like, I'm not, like, I'd never go on somebody's stuff and disrespect. That's one thing. Like, you know, even, like, you know how many times I look at a post and like, man, I should comment. But I'm like, you know what? It's not, that's not, like, what am I doing it for?
I do a lot of post and delete. Like, I write it, delete it.
Like, and there's a lot of times that happens. And then I'm like, you know what? And it's not helping. It's not anybody out on me commenting like this. It's not going like it's not pushing the industry in the right direction. And I'll just stop. I'll stop. And one thing, so if you post under my stuff, I'm always there for the BS. I'm always there for the BS. I'm always there, you know, to, like, you know, I just want to ask you some questions. I always want to see where your head's at. Like, you know.
What's that song? Oh, don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
I'm a nice person. Like, I'll give you a chance to kind of, and this happens a lot of times. Like, I feel like somebody will kind of pinpoint. However, you know, once you actually interact with them for a while, they kind of like there's a okay, I see where you're at, and I'm not pushing that line. Like, a lot of people don't push that line, and then you know it's just a respect that's given. Like, okay, I see where you're at, and I, you know, as long as you see where I'm at, and we're cool with it. Like, there's a couple people that I see that always want to push the line. However, they don't cross the line. You know, there's not, like, I don't feel like it's disrespect. I don't. You know, I come from, like, bro, you're not going to jump me or anything of that nature. Or make me feel a certain way. Like, and I hate to even go back to the dude, like, you said, man, you take it personal. Yeah, you take it personal. Like, understand something. Like, this is my business. Like, you think I'm not going to take it personal? Like, my name's on the front, like, my name's on my package.
Yeah.
Personal.
And in some ways, it's like, I don't know. I almost feel like going back and just deleting all that shit because to me, in some ways, it's like this, dude. Make your own fucking post about it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you in someone's comments like a bitch? Sorry to say it like that way, but that's to me is like that. If I like, okay, I in all fairness, I come into people's comments like a bitch. But I get it, and I'm purposely doing it. You know what I mean? You're talking shit about Seamoss, I'm gonna come and say something about you, right? But that wasn't like, to me. It was like, okay, it's like this: say your thing, let it go. You said your piece, but he kept going.
You know why he kept on going though? Because, like, so this. I'm gonna use your words against you. And that's really what happened. It's like, okay, so, like, it was early. You know how somebody tries to come back from a situation and just stop. It feels like if they nag you enough, then they feel like they won. I understood what he was trying to do. Then I'll go for a little bit until it's like, until stuff don't add up and I feel like I'm wasting my time even conversation because, like, some people just aren't worth it after a while. You start to realize, okay, you're not worth it. Like, I'm waiting for you to come up with some intellectual stuff and you can break down some things to me and things of that nature. And when you can't, or when I ask you simple questions and you really don't want to answer them, it feel a certain way. Like, you're passive aggressive, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I understand it. Like, I would get mad at me sometimes too.
I don't know. If it was me and I went through all that trouble and you called me on, I would have been compelled. There was no way I would have turned it down. Do you know what I'm saying? Because then I would have. It's like almost, how do you put it? It's like a dog, like how a dog barks, and then when you go like that, and then I was like, that's what it reminds me of. Because he was all like,
After a while, like, okay, what you're saying didn't make any sense. Like, that's like when I told him I wouldn't buy from him because, like, why would I buy from somebody that didn't trust me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, I think he felt a certain way after that. Like, bro, and but what I did, I kind of I baited you into it.
But what's funny is like, are you really telling like, okay, Captain Obvious, yes, know where you're getting your pills from because they could be, it's better to make them yourself because you don't know what's getting in them. But like, anyways, I don't know. To me, it was like, it was.
I baked, and that's all. Like, you know what? Like, you know why? Because like, you know when you don't know somebody's doing something until after it's done. It's like, oh, did he just know?
Yeah, he just told you.
Yeah. So after that, he just really just got on troll mode, and I was like, bro. But another thing is that I understand why he that, and I wish he actually would have came on because I need to ask him a few questions about his business. Like,
Well, honestly, if he'd come on the live, I would have treated him with respect, and we would have had a fun conversation and a discussion about what he's doing. You know what I mean? I would have probably told him the truth, like, hey, I thought you were a dick on live. But, like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of like, online's online. You know what I mean? Like, it's not real.
That's the thing. Like, okay, like, I need you to say that all that stuff when you look me in the eyes and stuff like that. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, like, I need you to keep that same energy. Because a lot of people change up their energy. I don't want you to change up your energy. I want you to keep that same energy that you have. And I don't expect it to feel like once you start getting to the you're this and you're that, bro, I don't really like we're online. Like you're in a whole different country. You're not gonna see me ever. Like probably ever gonna see me. Like when you come to the States, you know what I'm saying, you can look me. Like, you're not gonna see me ever. I need you to keep that same energy. That's really what I'm about. Like I need that same energy. That's why I'm always going to pull up on you. Because I need you to keep that same energy. Like the energy always changes. Like, but I didn't like you need. I'm like, bro, like I'm really. If you know me, I'm as far as emotional wise, I'm really not that emotional when it comes to online situation. Like until I know it's real. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll see emotion come out. But like this.
Flame's just trying to get you and make you look away. You know?
But he just ended up looking away. So, and ends up happening, then you try to come back from how you look.
Yeah.
And you try to change the narrative and keep on talking about this business. But, bro, just looking bad out here. It's cool.
Yeah, you're giving a bad name. And it's unnecessary. You know?
Like, and I wish him all the best with his emails that he was sending out on Sunday. that I that's really actually when I just stopped because it didn't make any sense to me anymore. Like and he didn't even have to send that message, and I was like, why did he send this message?
Why would he even tell people that that's what you're doing? You know?
But it's you're trying to prove that who you are. And a lot of times people don't have to prove who they are because you can actually Google them. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to find, like, he asked me for all my, like, let me see your credentials and stuff. Like, bro, you can Google it. You probably already did. Like, Google Seamoss, it's going to come up. Like, like, it's going to say Rick Briggs LLC. Like, it's all in black and white for you. Like, I don't have to show you no paperwork.
Yeah. I'm not hiding.
Like, it's Google. Google's going to tell you that I have a business. Like, I Googled you. Like, I went and Googled A. Myers Army. I even Googled Seamoss Royalty, which neither of them popped up. No social presence.
No website.
No website. No,
like how do you do business?
How you do that much business? Most business people, the first thing they're going to do is look for your social presence.
Yeah, make sure you're legit.
And I can't find you, how am I gonna know that you're legit? How am I gonna read reviews on you?
Mm-hmm.
To know that you're real, to know that I'm not being scammed.
Yeah, and the ship pay to get hundreds of pounds of any produce. They don't just do Seamoss, they do all kinds of stuff. So you tell me you don't feel the need to have a like website, even just a small one? That's crazy.
You don't have a website, but you send out emails on Sunday. Like, where are they going to? Like.
That's true. That's a good point. Like, what are you sending them? Gifts? Like little pics or whatever?
Like, I don't know. Like, I try to, like, once he said, like, that's one thing about business that I always know. Like, who's going to open up a business email on a Sunday? Who's actually, like, that's, most business people aren't working on Saturday, Sunday.
No. Not unless they have to.
And they're not even looking at emails on Saturday and Sunday. Like, they look at it as spam. Like, and so I'm not falling in the spam category.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, and then that's what he started feeling like a troll. Like, somebody's just gonna say something. I did this, I did that. Cool, show me.
Mm-hmm.
Show me what you do. Like, show me what you do. Like, can I Google you without you telling me? Can I go to a site and see that this is what you do? Like, can I even go to your IG? Like, your IG was just terrible. Like, I can't take serious after that. I'm like, bro, like, I see you post all the time, but you only got 108 people that follow you and get 3 likes.
Yeah, there's like no engagement. Like, who are you selling to?
Like, who's co-signing you? Like, that's really who's co-signing you. So if I actually put your name up in all these groups and say, hey, who bought from this person?
Mm-hmm.
How many people are gonna say, hey, yeah, I buy from him?
That's a good question. I wonder.
And that's really what I'm looking at. Like, but a lot of times you don't even have to do that. You can just actually, like, you can put the person's name in Facebook in these groups, and you can see where the comments are below. You can see, like, who really deals with this person. Like, if you're sharing information, you're supposed to get a whole bunch of likes. Like you said that you coming in, you drop knowledge, and then you kind of leave and go out. Okay, when you do that, how many people are listening to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people do you connect with in this community? And when you don't see it, it's just don't. Shit just don't add up.
Yeah, you don't know it's there.
And after that, I can't really kind of have a discussion with you because really, the only thing you're gonna do is do the laugh emoji. If that, the only thing you're gonna do is the laugh emoji because you really can't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just a tactic to piss you off. He's just trying to get, he's trying to get you, like, emotional, and then turn around and be like, bro, why are you so emotional? Like, it's like classic South Park,
But that's why I was looking like, bro, like, you're confusing me.
Yeah. Who's emotional here? You've been writing text after text after text. You look like a girl.
Even when you say, okay, I'm done, I can't do this no more, but then you keep on going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I call you out, then you can't stop.
Yeah. That's why I feel like his business is he probably does have a business, but it's nowhere as big as he tries to envision it to be.
And that's cool. Like,
yeah.
But my thing is like, say you want to, like, I shot you out. If you know what I'm saying, say you need some help. I shot you out. I'm like, hey man, go get your stuff now. Maybe not no $15 a pound sour, but maybe something else that you might have that's feasible for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Why $15 a pound for sour sauce is expensive? Cheap or expensive?
okay, so see, this is how I look at it. What all comes with that? Because is that just to your doorstep? Doorstep, and I gotta buy soursop for $15 a pound. Like, I'd rather just buy it from the States. I'd rather just get it from.
Oh, you're actually talking about like whole soursop too.
Yeah, like, whole soursop. Yeah, so it's more of a situation where if I was gonna do that, I'm trying to get it from somebody that's in the States or something like that. I'm not trying to spend $15 on soursop. Not to mention, I can't go to the website and order this stuff or nothing like that. Like, how am I gonna save you the money? Like, there's certain things I look at. Like, okay, so at $15 a pound. Like, okay, so how am I supposed to resell that? So I buy it for 15 and sell it for 20. Well, 20.
I sell it at $15 Canadian for an ounce. Yeah.
No, but that's just the leaf. I'm talking about the.
Oh yeah, the whole fruit. Okay, that's different too. Then it's gonna weigh more.
Exactly. Like, so you might get fruit may cost maybe 3 pounds sometimes.
Yeah. That's crazy. They get some big giant ones now.
But yeah.
Pardon?
I said he had a whole bunch of. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't read that whole entire thing.
That was a crazy list.
Yeah. I was like.
And he was probably like, ha ha ha, I got to put my ad out.
Yeah, I'm like, if they get mad, I tell them that I probably would never buy from them. Like, and okay, so me. Well, I didn't need you to buy from me anyway. Okay, then why did you put all that stuff up? Like you did a double take. Like, you did me the big, hey, if you buy 100 pounds, you get 40. I don't know, what it was, free. And I was like, I just felt like, okay, so.
I don't know why these guys do that stuff. Like, do this, like, buy 100 pounds. Like, why 40 pounds? Like, do you understand, like, how that fucks up your number, like, exponentially? You know what I mean? It's almost like once you start doing that, you can't, like, okay, so say the 100 pounds.
Invoice go? How does that invoice go when they do it like that? Like, how do you send an invoice? Like, okay, so we do it customs and we deal with people. Like, okay, so are you gonna put that you're getting me 40 pounds for free? So are you gonna put 100 pounds for this, 40 pounds for free on the invoice that you have to send me?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Yeah, like, how's that work? Like, my is just gonna be like, this doesn't make any sense. Why don't they just average it out so it just looks like
like what it's supposed to?
Yeah.
But here's the thing that they don't realize. Okay, say they were selling it at $20 a pound. They do that price. It's now $14. You know what I mean? Like, you just dropped it like almost by like a half or a third, or a quarter. No more than a quarter. And if you did it lower, say it was $14.
Why don't you just tell me that you did call to me for $14?
That's Yusuf doing that.
Hey. Like, I might be a little bit different as far as, like when I do my numbers, like, have my numbers correctly, I still gotta do the math on that. Like, I'm like, okay, so I'm getting these 140 pounds for 14. Like, that's really what's gonna, like, $14 a pound?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. A lot of you guys don't math. Got a big drop to go from, like, even if you sold it at $14 a pound and you gave that 50 free, it'll go down to $10 a pound. But get 5 pounds for you, 10 pounds for you. That's a lot.
That's
You know?
that bait. That's that bait. People want that. People want that free 40.
Yeah, but what happens, right? Or I believe what happens is once you get that price and you pick that, you're stuck to that. Because they'll come back and they're not going to come back and pay an extra, you know what I mean? Like a quarter more or more than 40%.
Do you think that 40 pounds is to kind of counteract the shipping that you're about to pay?
That's a good point. When he drops that shipping from Barbados.
So when they actually say, hey, this shipping is going to cost you such, so now you didn't get them 40 for free.
Well, I'm always skeptical of any guy that comes in and says, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, because most of those guys in those positions, they don't want anybody to know that that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, they usually move more like in a more silent environment. Like you didn't even want to show your face. You know what I mean? Well, whatever.
Yeah, maybe I'll come next week. Maybe family time won't be on it next Wednesday.
We'll see.
Like maybe we can. Maybe I'll go live and just not have a time so he can come.
And bring him on. Yeah, you could pick a time with him.
Like I didn't learn these business maneuvers because the way that you said you sell to every you did. You sell a lot. Not just Seamoss, you sell a lot of everything.
Yeah, and he sells the powder too.
He sells the powder too.
I think so. Why else would he say that? And that's like, honestly, it's kind of like a real sort of like douchey kind of thing. Well, I don't trust anybody with my Seamoss. You know what I mean? Like, okay, sorry, Mr. CEO. Good thing he's like, only my grinded personal Seamoss is the best for me. Sorry, I love making jokes that I always find funny. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, let's see if he comes on a live, you know what I mean? And talks about it and shows his business. I don't know. I think I'm just going to have fun trolling him. I'll just go back on him. You know? Because I'm like those kind of, I'm like a mirror, you know what I mean? Like, what they, whatever they put it like that. Right back at you.
Like that's the thing, you relish in the stuff. Like, oh yeah. I'm like, man.
I was like, you got to go home, back to your letters, go write your Sunday emails, buddy.
Yeah,
You're too busy to talk to us. Remember, Mr. CEO? He's lucky I had the live stream to do because I was ready to kind of like, and that's the thing, eh? I get like how do you put it? I'll spend hours on a forum, like not trolling people, but going back and that's where a lot of it, you know what I mean? So like, how do I put it? I've been using the internet since 1993. So like I've been on like message boards, forums, you know what I mean? Are you frozen? You're there, okay.
Yeah.
He's just stuck there for a while.
I started reading it, and I'm like, oh, because I was like, oh, Crystal done got involved. I was like,
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, and so it's like I've done all that stuff. Like I used to use the internet with dial. You remember dial-up?
no.
You what? You've never used the internet on dial-up?
I probably have, but I was
So
like,
back in the days before they had high-speed cable internet, you used to have a box and you would connect it to the phone. Yeah, beep, beep, beep. Yeah. So I used to spend hours online, and I would stay up to like 6 in the morning because no one was using the phone, say after 10 o'clock at night, and that's when I would go online and do all of whatever I was doing, and going on these boards and these forums. And so I really kind of learned and understand the boundaries and the limitations and the things you can do and say in these online platforms to talk and discuss stuff. So it's like to me, it's like fun. Like I enjoy it. And really none of money. Honestly, not to say none of my customers are, because I'm sure there are people that are buying off me that are in the Seamoss Buyer Club, but most of those people know me. Do you know what I mean? And I think once you get to know me, you realize that the guy that's saying that shit on the internet, like then you get it. Like, why? It's actually funny because then when you meet me, you realize I'm a cool dude, and I'm not like anywhere near the dick that I act online. That it's like, oh, this guy's just jokes.
Like, you know what the funny thing is right now? I'm trying to read that whole mission statement.
The what?
The mission statement that he said.
You said the mission statement?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a mission statement.
Oh, during earlier that whole thing that shows what he does and talks about how he's not responsible if your product's lost or damaged or some stupid shit. There's like his little boilerplate thing that he puts on every chance he gets.
This is a copy and paste situation, right? Okay.
Oh, totally. No one's writing all that shit.
Like, let me just, I look at it, I just start laughing. Like, man, I can't read that shit. Like, man, that's like words. Like, man, that was like, they email me that shit and they just say, hey, man, what's your email?
Yeah.
You know,
Not needed. But he's like those guys that freak out because they hear people using, what is it, the infused fruits. And they're like, oh, infused fruits go sour. And I'm like, okay, bro, good for you. Like,
okay. This is the thing is that, you know, I will look to see every last statement that you have made on the internet and everything like that. And he was saying it's best to use fresh fruit, and he was arguing with somebody that was on another group. And I was like, this is what you do. You argue with everybody. Like, I don't understand how you can be a major importer or exporter and you just argue.
Yeah. For
that's
what?
Argue. But the thing is that it's like people know he was trolling, so they don't. So they kind of over this shit.
Yeah, just
like
ignore it.
That's like, okay, I'm like, all right, like I see what it is.
Yeah.
Like, when I stop talking, I'm like, bro, I can't give you no more in my head.
Yeah. Like, this isn't going anywhere. You're beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Like, I'm just hoping tomorrow he goes and replays this live and hears us talking about for like the last half an hour. And he says, hey man, I'll go on live with y'all. Or he feels a certain way, man. Shout out to if anybody wants to get any of his product, Seamoss Royalty is a subsidiary of A Farming.
A Myers Farming.
Sorry, A Myers Farming. Google him, see if you see anything that pops up. See if you see a review.
Yeah.
You know.
And if he asks, tell him, yes, we're all in our feelings about this.
Yeah. Like, and if you actually have done business with this gentleman, just validate. Because I can't find anybody that can.
I don't think he's doing it. You know what I mean? It sounds like it's even like a family business or a business he just started. Because even the business registration said 2019.
Exactly.
So it's like his family business, and he added, like, they ship to, he probably doesn't handle half the shit that he's talking about, and he just started getting into Seamoss, and his family does everything else.
I think really his big thing was soursop. Truthfully, he has Seamoss, but I think he like when I kind of went through the missions, like I go by what you say that you have and the price that you put on it. The only thing that he put a price on was soursop.
Wow.
So that's what I kind of look at. Like, okay, so you sell soursop mostly. But he actually sells it for $6,000 a pound.
Yeah. Pardon?
I said he sells it for $6,000.
$6 a pound?
Yeah. So $6 US per pound. Soursop is sold at $6 US per pound.
Oh, okay. Soursop. I thought the Seamoss.
Yeah. Soursop is exported via air on a weekly basis in 40-pound boxes. For example, the fruit is harvested, cleaned, and packed Tuesday, shipped to Miami on Wednesday via American Airlines or Amerijet. That's like with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So at $6 a pound US. So that's like when you reference that, then that's really what you sell.
Yeah. I think it's like it's a family business. The family probably sells that, and he's just getting into Seamoss.
Yeah. I looked at his IG. It looked like he sold the soursop to Seamoss.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basis of it. And he probably actually has, like, I'm not sure what it sells like as far as Seamoss.
Well, either way, good for him.
Yeah.
Just don't comment on other people's posts and start talking shit.
Yeah, I like soursop. Like if he would have went crazy, I might have bought some from him.
Mm-hmm.
I might have got a good 42. You know what I'm saying? At least the sample. Like, it's not like I was talking about earlier. I'm not gonna get 500 pounds of it, but I would probably broke some bread with him, maybe send him for about a good 100 pounds to see if it can come into the States, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you say $6,000, I only got paid anything else for $6.
Yeah.
He might have it. Matter of fact, I still might buy something from him. I think he might need the help.
Yeah, if that's the way he does business. Yes.
Like, because I want to see how he, like, where do I send the money to? Whoever. What's that? Send it directly to you? Do I got to do PayPal? Do I got to pay for the expenses on PayPal? Like,
I'm gonna start trolling him starting tomorrow, and be like, "Come on, bro, you coming on the show? Let's go. What are you doing the show?" Let's see if he goes on.
I'm gonna see if he got 40. He got 40 a 40-pound box for me. I'm like, bro, send me 40-pound box. I need some soursop.
Mm-hmm.
Get from you. $6,000 a pound. I'm like, no, I need to come straight to Atlanta. I'm not getting it to Miami. I need to come straight to Atlanta. Exactly.
Yeah, fuck him. Try it. You might even have good soursop.
Yeah. I never had Barbados soursop.
There you go. And
I'm also supporting.
And maybe while you're there, he can show you how he grinds his Seamoss.
Yeah. Or maybe he can test mine out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure it's legit.
Yeah, he'll do that since we're doing business together.
Yeah, of course.
How'd you test this myself?
But you know what? I'm looking at the time. It's 2:00.
Yeah. We wrote it on out. We wrote it on out. I actually wrote it on out trying to talk about it.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's a good way to end this show. Yeah, and I don't want to get it too long, only because Instagram has a 4 hour limit, and if you go over the 4 hours, it cuts off, and you don't get to save the video.
Hey, but the funny thing was, they did that last week, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They cut us off as soon as we were.
That's where we ended, and I went back for a second, but no one came back on, so I was like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get upstairs. I know Chris was probably looking like, I know it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's like you guys never end.
This is a crazy thing. I'm just gonna it's like there's shows I binge watch, and there's a new show that talks about the LA Lakers.
Okay.
Really good, so I'll probably watch that while I gotta do some while I actually do the rest of these orders.
Get them all out.
Dude,
I have something like 80 orders I gotta pull through tomorrow. Like ridiculous amount of orders over the weekend. Ran some TikTok ads. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I do this? Next time, note to self: get ahead of yourself before you run major ad campaigns. Make sure you're all everything's all full. You got enough boxes, everything.
Well, you know what you can do. I'm always here.
Yeah, definitely. I might give you a call and say, "Oh, Rick, can you help me out with this one? Can you help me with that one?"
Yeah, I got your back.
I appreciate that love. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. And with that, let's say goodnight. And thanks so much for joining me and hanging out with me for so long. It's always good, but it feels like our regular talks during the day. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And we'll see. Hopefully, we need to get some other people on Wednesday, see if somebody else wants to come and talk. So I don't feel like I just be over talking.
True.
Like I'm like, damn, I talk too much.
Oh, we always do, but it is. I think what I like to maybe do is do Wednesdays where we bring a business on or someone else to talk about their business. I want to give more people an opportunity to not just sell their product, but practice selling their product. Do you know what I mean? Like if you bring people on here and they get,
Something like a Shark Tank. Like who got some new product that they want to sell? Like that's what I want. Like I'm always willing to buy some new products.
Maybe that's something we put out. Say let's do a product pitch. You know what I mean? And if the product's good, we can work on a deal.
Product pitch on Wednesday. You got a new product. You got some. I want to talk to people about how they make lemonades and stuff like that. Cause I'm intrigued with lemonade right now.
That's true. Lemonades and even just the different cocktails and drinks.
Yeah.
Especially with the summer coming up.
And hibiscus drinks. Like, I know some people are making hibiscus drinks. Like, I want to see how they go about doing that, or how, if it's got to be vegan. Like, if they're going towards the vegan route, or they're saying, you know what, this is just for people in general. So, yeah, that's something I definitely want to see. But, yeah, I'm not gonna go into another subject because we'll be on here for.
And we got 4 minutes left. So, or 3 minutes now. So,
I'm gonna holler at you later.
All right. Take care, man. Thanks for joining me. And good night, everyone. See you on Wednesday. All right. Good night. Oh, I always keep forgetting to end this last live stream. So let me end this stream after I've ended this one. Thanks, guys, for joining me, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday for another Let's Talk About Seamoss.